Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. National Magic. Daily Check-In, specializing in Thunder. Chapter 21. Tick-Tock. Thunderbolt. Luning watched the liquid lightning magic power condensed from his fingertips drop to the ground, and a lightning field exploded in an instant. The liquefaction of magic power means officially stepping into the 5th level. It is a pity that Luning cannot effectively preserve the liquid magic power condensed out of the body for the time being, otherwise he would be able to make so-called recovery potions. After tidying up a bit, Luning left the training room. After walking out of the training room, Luning took out his mobile phone, only to find that there were many messages on it. There was a message from Kai Si, saying that he had found a buyer who was willing to buy a number of magic attendants, and the price was 5.5 million. There was a message from the school leader of Los Angeles No. 1 Middle School, with a polite word to invite Luning back to school to hold a swearing-in meeting for the juniors. There is also the Tianan Magic Guild, saying that they hope that Luning can take time to visit the guild headquarters and so on. Finally, the academy side. The freshman ceremony will be held soon, so Luning should not leave school without authorization during this period. Luning calculated the time. The date of the freshman ceremony is today. Several hours later, in the hall on the first floor of the teaching building of Tianan Academy of Magic, there was a crowd of people, all of whom were freshmen admitted this year. Most of the college instructors were also present, sitting on the sidelines and chatting with each other. The seating arrangements for the students are very interesting. There are only 4 seats in the first row, representing the 4 quasi-sequence students of Tianan College this year. The second row has 50 seats, representing key students. The third row has 300 seats, which represent key students. The remaining more than 2,000 seats are ordinary students. Each seat has been pasted with the student's name in advance, just find a seat and take a seat. It's Luning. Luning, the number 1 freshman. It seems to be handsome and easygoing. I heard that Luning is proficient in thunder magic and body training magic, and has 2 kinds of magic talents. I've heard that there are at least 3 magical talents. I don't know how much gold he has. What's the rush? If you occupy the first place among freshmen, you will inevitably end up being challenged. You will see it then. Quote. Entering Tianan Academy of Magic as the number 1 freshman, Luning's fame will not directly affect the entire Yan Empire, but at least it is already well known in Tianan Province. In addition, his background is still relatively low level, which can attract more attention. Luning walked into the hall of the teaching building, sat down in his seat in the second row as usual under the gazes of the crowd. Luning. As soon as he sat down, he heard a familiar call. At first glance, it was the cute girl Kai Si who was waving at him. Student Kai. Luning smiled and got up to greet her. After Luning sat down, he smiled at the heroic ponytail girl next to him and said, Student Yang. Yang Yan smiled and replied, just call me Yang Yan. Xiao Kai. The boy sitting on the other side of Luning also took the initiative to chat with Luning at this moment. This young man named Xiao Kai is the 2nd place in this year's freshman competition, and Yang Yan is the 3rd place. At this time, at the corner of the hall of the teaching building, there were 5 young figures standing against the wall. It's that kid who put his hands in his pockets and killed me. Brother Joe, you have to make the decision for the younger brother. Qin Jianfeng pointed at Luning who was chatting with Xiao Kai, and said something to a tall boy beside him. These 5 people are the exchange students of the Imperial Academy of Divine Weapons of the Huang Empire. The 5 are dominated by Zhou Lin. You don't want to be angry. It's not good to get the 1st place in the freshmen. If Zhou Linjun goes to challenge, if you lose, you will lose not only his face, but also the face of our Shenbing Academy. The girl, Sha Liu Liu, among the 5 glared at Qin Jianfeng. This Qin Jianfeng is the kind of happy person who keeps talking and is afraid that the world will not be chaotic. I really want to give it a try, but compared to that kid surnamed Liu, I want to know how far we are from the Academy's quasi-sequence students. The tall young man Zhou Lin's eyes lingered on Luning for a short time before falling on the podium in the hall. I saw 5 figures walking slowly on the podium. The person in the middle is Yun Jianming, the vice president of Tianan Magic Academy, and the 4 people beside him, 3 men and 1 woman, are the quasi-sequence students of Tianan Magic Academy this year. If it is said that above genius is the arrogance of heaven, Then these 4 people are qualified to be named this title. The world can't imagine that someone can easily complete the transformation of magic power from gaseous state to liquid state at the age of 18. However, what the world can't imagine is that these 4 quasi-sequence colleges are indeed 18 years old this year, but it doesn't mean that they just became 5th order mages this year. Speaking of which, my Shenbing Academy only has 3 special students this year. Qin Jianfeng straightened his face, and his eyes fell on those 4 people. Special grade students of Shenbing Academy are equivalent to quasi-sequence students of Tianan Academy, they are called differently. After Vice President Yun Jianming appeared on the stage, all freshmen stood up immediately. Then after Vice President Yun Jianming gave a speech, all the people sat down slowly. Here it is, a quasi-sequence student. Xiao Kai, who was sitting next to Luning, touched his chin and improvised the role of a commentator. From his mouth, Luning also got some basic information about these 4 Tianzhao. The first one on the left is a young man with broken eyebrows, his face is rather stern, his name is Shanghang, he is good at both elemental magic and body training magic, and both of them have stepped into the 5th level. The second boy on the left has half-length hair and looks like a nobleman. He is more handsome than handsome. This handsome young man is named Yu Xiaobai, and he is a direct descendant of the Yu family, a magical family in Tianan City. His magic talent is very special, called Contract of the Gods. He masters special magic card magic, and can set rules and contracts on the card in conjunction with his talent, which belongs to the kind of extremely perverted and rogue innate ability in magic. For example, the Contract of the Gods, he set on his card as no use of thunder magic. Then he and the opponent will not be able to use thunder magic within the fixed magic range. However, this Contract of the Gods is only valid for opponents of the same level and lower than his own level, and it is not really what he says, and he also has weaknesses that can be broken. The first one on the right is a young girl with the demeanor of a royal sister. This girl is 1.75 meters tall, with a tall and exquisite figure, and her dress is also very bold. Her long shiny legs have attracted the attention of most novices. Her pupils are even more eye-catching, and there are faint magic patterns around the pupils. When Luning saw it for the first time, he thought it was the eyes of reincarnation. Her name is Xiao Xiao. Hearing Xiao Kai's tone, he was extremely afraid of Xiao Xiao, because the latter was good at the special magic and spiritual magic that caused headaches for all mages. You must know that without corresponding countermeasures, most mages can basically escape the end of their magic being forcibly interrupted in front of spiritual magicians. For the last one, Xiao Kai just said his name, Gong Li. Gong Li seems to be only 15 or 16 years old, with a bright and innocent face, but at this time, he shows no interest in everything, his eyes are distracted, and he seems to be wandering away. After Xiao Kai finished speaking, Yang Yan suddenly added, Gong Li is a son of elements who is unique in hundreds of millions with magical talent. Xiao Kai was shocked suddenly. The magical talent of the children of the elements. Then this Gong Li is really just like his appearance, he is 15 or 16 years old. Yes, only this kind of talent recognized as the fastest cultivation speed can become a 5th order mage at the age of 15 or 16. Luning was also very interested in looking at the 4 celebs on the stage. In a daze, after the vice president finished his speech, the 4 quasi-sequence students were asked to say a few words one by one. Finally, Luning, who ranked first in the unified examination, also came to the stage to deliver a speech. Luning did not prepare the speech in advance, so I just introduced myself concisely, and then said some words to encourage the magic road with you in the future. After Luning, the instructors from various colleges came on stage. In this way, the freshman ceremony will soon come to an end, and a banquet will be held in the college cafeteria. The freshmen in the hall on the first floor of the teaching building got up one after another after the deputy dean left, and left the hall one after another. Luning, I'm going to go to the wild with my friends for training. Are you interested? Kai Si posted it enthusiastically, and said as an invitation. The most effective way to practice magic is nothing more than actual combat. The strong ones come to the fore in battle after battle. It is also for this reason that many students die or disappear unexpectedly every year. Without waiting for Luning to reply, but Yang Yan interjected, the Tianan Guild will organize an operation in the near future. It is said that an area suspected of ancient ruins has been discovered, and a 7th-level magister will lead this outing operation. After she finished speaking, she added, participating in the actions of the guild will gain a certain degree of contribution to the academy. Tianan Academy of Magic and Tianan Magic Guild are one family, but the people in charge of the two sides are different. Yang Yan, I invited you first. Kai Si immediately became unhappy, and looked at Yang Yan displeased. Yang Yan looked as usual, and it seemed that she would not play any tricks of jealousy in this kind of matter. She simply admired Lu Ning's strength, so she invited him on this basis. So welcome. Xiao Kai next to him smiled meaningfully, and left first in a very witty manner. Yang Yan, I don't plan to participate in the guild's affairs for the time being. Lu Ning politely rejected Yang Yan. Compared with guilds, colleges have a very high degree of freedom. The only thing is that they will put pressure on you to improve your strength, and if you don't improve, you will lower the student's level. And the guild is a complete team action. When going out, you must obey the command, and the income from the action must first pay a part of the fixed amount and then distribute it according to work. That's right, participating in guild actions will give the academy a contribution point. But it's useless for Lu Ning to have that thing right now. He is going to go out with Kai Si as a team first and have a simple experience. In fact, Lu Ning didn't want to form a team at all. But he really didn't have any experience in field training, so he formed a team to practice first, and then went it alone when he was familiar with it. Then I can understand that you, Lu Ning, have accepted my invitation. Kai Si asked expectantly. Lu Ning nodded. Yang Yan took a deep look at Lu Ning. Exploring the ruins does have the danger of many uncertain factors, but once there is a result, it must be huge. Her ancient magic is obtained from the ruins. Yang Yan was speechless in her heart. She has dealt with Lu Ning before, and she thinks that Lu Ning is not the kind of person who would be afraid of danger. Maybe I took it for granted. Yang Yan left disappointed. Mada, this kid surnamed Lu is really getting more and more annoying the more he looks at him. Does he have to be better than me in terms of women's popularity? At the corner of the wall, Qin Zhanfang, one of the 5 members of the Huang Empire, gritted his teeth. Qin Zhanfang has no shortage of admirers no matter his appearance or talent strength, but they are all girls who are inferior to him, and girls of the same level as him have not taken a fancy to him. On the contrary, they will hate him because of his often outspoken character. I think this Lu Ning is very good. He decisively rejects one and decisively chooses one. It is much better than those geniuses who have both sides with girls. Sha Liu Liu sang against Qin Zhanfang. Brother Zhou, look, even Liu Liu is going to be fascinated by that kid, can you bear it? Qin Zhanfang, can you cut your farts and stop making trouble? Seeing that his companions were about to quarrel, Zhou Lin immediately raised his hand. He then moved his eyes away from Shang Hang, the proud Tianzhao on the podium, and landed on Lu Ning. I'm going to meet Lu Ning. Zhou Lin, Sha Liu Liu was suddenly sullen. Don't worry, don't make trouble. Zhou Lin ignored it, and strode towards Lu Ning who was leaving the hall while talking to Kai Si. He walked opposite Lu Ning. The distance between the two is getting closer and closer, and it seems that they are about to collide directly. Wait, look over there. People from the Emperor's Academy of Divine Weapons. Are they going to trouble Lu Ning? That's right, I heard that there is a weak chicken in Shenbing Academy who was brutalized by Lu Ning in the unified examination. This is about to get back on the field. It's him, Zhou Lin. Why, do you know this Huang Empire man named Zhou Lin? Of course I know it, and I did some research afterwards. Zhou Lin's magic talent is in body training, called Strength and Body Wushuang. I am a body training mage, and I still practice the most tortuous, fire training, route, in the unified examination before, my 4th order magic was smashed by this person, and I was beaten up by this guy. Quote. Many freshmen nearby who have not yet left are gradually attracted by the movement here. I also learned a lot about Zhou Lin from some people. Zhou Lin is a tier 4 body refining mage, with a powerful magic talent in body refining. He followed the fire refining, body refining route, which means tempering the whole body with special flames, and extracting the impurities in the body in this simple and crude way. Fire training is very painful, and it is difficult to persevere with the willpower that is not different from ordinary people. At the same time, it must be equipped with corresponding special magic potions, otherwise it will simply dry roast yourself, and the effect will not be great. The strength of Zhou Lin is at least 100,000 kilograms per arm. Someone said in a deep voice. What? Such an exaggeration. He's only at the 4th level. It's an exaggeration, but he has advanced body refining magic talent, so it seems reasonable. Hiss. Luning is in trouble. Look, the two are about to collide. At this moment, the hall on the 1st floor of the entire teaching building suddenly became quiet. Only the conversation between Luning and Kai-Si rang out from time to time. Luning was talking with Kai-Si, and he seemed to be on the same channel as this cute and lively girl. The two became familiar, and he would also say some witty words to tease each other. While speaking, Luning didn't seem to notice a figure walking towards him at all. Zhou Lin looked forward calmly, not on Luning, and seemed to be walking normally. But the next second, Luning's right shoulder collided with Zhou Lin's left shoulder. At the moment of touching, Zhou Lin's eyes were fixed, and he secretly exerted his strength. Boom! A sudden explosion resounded throughout the hall. The eyes of everyone changed from anticipation and excitement to unbelievable surprise in an instant. Luning remained motionless. However, Zhou Lin's body was directly knocked to the ground by the shock, and a cloud of blood burst out from his right shoulder. The skin is shocking. Ah, are you okay? I was talking just now and didn't notice you. Luning looked down at Zhou Lin, who fell to the ground in front of him, and said calmly. Zhou Lin's expression turned into incomparably terrified. How can it be? How could it be possible? He only has physical strength, and a single swing of his arm is enough to have a strength of nearly 100,000 kilograms. Among the freshmen of the Shenbing Academy, there is only one of the 3 special students, and the others are the strongest. It would be fine if he was defeated by the opponent after a fierce battle. After all, he is the number 1 freshman of Tianan College, so he must have 2 brushes. But what's the matter with this kind of gap that was almost smashed to pieces by him with just a simple touch? Zhou Lin was immersed in the collision just now. It was an extremely blatant direct crushing of the weak by the strong. The cruelty, like a tiger tearing apart a rabbit, cast a deep psychological shadow on him. At all. I'm not on the same level as him at all. Zhou Lin's expression became dazed, and he even forgot about the pain in his shoulder. Luning has not carefully tested his true strength level. However, his physique has increased by nearly 3 times. In addition to tempering his whole body with lightning-type materials, his physical strength has already ushered in a qualitative leap compared to his physical strength during the unified examination. Not to mention, just pure physical strength, Luning can cause a force of about 300,000 kilograms with a single swing of his arm. Kai-Si looked at Zhou Lin, who fell to the ground, but didn't react for a moment. Not far away, Xiaoliuliu lightly covered the corners of her mouth. Her beautiful eyes were full of unbelievable shock. Qin Zhanfang shrank his neck, thinking that brother Zhou went up by himself, so he can't be blamed. After Luning and Kai-Si leave, the hall gradually recovered some noise. Well, Luning's physical strength is too exaggerated. The other party is a body training genius with advanced body training magic talent. I heard that Luning didn't get full marks in physical strength. What's wrong with him? He didn't use his full strength in the unified examination. Just now you seemed to say that you were going to challenge Luning in the future. What? When did I say that? Why don't I remember? Luning, not bad. A group of sand sculptures. Look forward to the old calendar. The freshmen of Tianan College have been ranked first over the years. Which one is good? Luning had already left the hall, and some college tutors who hadn't left were silently watching his back, all with pensive expressions. Luning, what happened just now? After leaving, Kai-Si asked belatedly. Luning replied nonchalantly. That person deliberately found fault, so teach him a little lesson. Zhou Lin is a good time to choose. Otherwise, given that Luning is now the number 1 freshman, there will definitely not be any tough young men in the academy to challenge him. He is very sure of this. After all, after arriving in this world, he has seen the fierce martial arts in this world several times. That's right, but you are too ruthless, you just broke his right shoulder. A famous oceanographer once said, preaching is useless, and broken bones are the best textbooks. And I have kept my hands. Well, Luning, you are really good, hee. The two laughed and talked like friends for many years. Not long after, I came to the college cafeteria and attended a banquet with other freshmen to celebrate the freshmen's admission. With the lessons learned from Jolin, nothing happened after that. The next day, Luning thought that Kai-si still had a few more days to prepare, but she didn't expect that she would be preparing to go to the field for training today. He and Kai-si had agreed to meet in the teleportation hall of the academy, and they were waiting for each other at this moment. Using the magic teleportation array requires the consumption of magic spar. However, as a college student, you can use it for free, which is one of the many benefits. There are quite a few students coming and going inside and outside the teleportation hall. There are freshmen, and naturally there are seniors. Many of them recognized Luning and took the initiative to get acquainted with him. A quarter of an hour later, Kai-si walked over with several other men and women. She came, including her, there were 5 people, 3 men and 2 women. Is this the network power of an assistant mage? Even the number 1 freshman was kidnapped by you, amazing, Kai-si, ha ha ha. There's no need to argue over who will lead the team now. Luning, I'm Heelin, one of the key students of the academy this year. Heelin, don't emphasize your status as a key student, don't you all? Ha ha ha. Kai-si and her friends came up and started getting to know Luning. Heelin is an elemental magician who is good at wind magic. The other 2 boys are Tang Xuan, who are also elemental magicians and are good at earth magic. And Lin Zhou, he is good at 2 types of magic, binding magic and body training magic. Luning took another look at Lin Zhou. The combination of binding magic and body training magic is to turn the other party into a stake and test his output of standing. Very interesting combination. Kai-si needless to say more about the remaining 2 girls. The other wears a sheeptail braid, and like Kai-si, she is a small and cute girl. Her name is Shu Meimei, and she is good at the relatively rare light magic, and she also masters some auxiliary magic with detection ability. Shu Meimei is a girl who is not afraid of strangers. At this time, she turned around Luning, looked up and down, and then asked with a smile, people say that you have many kinds of magical talents, is it true? It is true that you are not afraid of life, and it is probably true that you have low EQ. This question, Luning didn't know whether she was naive or pretending to be naive, and didn't know how to answer for a moment. Yesterday you shattered the shoulders of the body-refining genius of the Huang Empire with your physical strength alone. In the group yesterday, people said that your physical strength can even be compared to that of a great genius. Shang Dagonius, she should be talking about Shang Heng among the 4 Tianan College quasi-sequence students. The freshman group discussed Luning, and now they have compared him to Shang Heng, because both of them are both elemental magic plus body training magic, and they belong to the so-called overlapping character attributes. Meimei, you are outspoken, restrain yourself. Seeing that Shu Meimei was impolite when she asked questions, Kai-si immediately scolded her. Shu Meimei made a grimace, and whispered coercively, you are so protective of food, people may not be interested in you. Luning, don't mind, Meimei has this personality. Kai-si suddenly felt a headache, and smiled apologetically at Luning. It's okay, so let's go now. Luning didn't care. The reason why he formed a team was because he had no field experience and needed to learn from the team. When he is familiar with it, he will do it alone, so that the benefits will be greater. Of course, it's not the first time we've gone to the wild for training. We're pretty familiar with the road. Heelin took the words with a smile. Subsequently, the 6 of them walked into the magic transmission hall together and started the transmission. After some operations, through the teleportation array, several people came to the Tianan Guild station 100 kilometers away from the border town. Generally, only the Great Guild will set up stations in the wild. One is to facilitate the rescue of guild members in distress in the wild. The second is to warn in advance that the wave of monsters in the Yangwang Mountains threatens the human city. We will hunt monsters within a radius of 100 kilometers around the Tianan Guild. If we are in danger, we will fire this magic flare. The senior guild station there will rescue us. Heelin handed Luning a magic flare. Hearing this, Luning felt relieved. Don't be afraid of teammates who are like gods, but teammates who are like pigs. Teammates with self-knowledge and safety awareness are better than anything else. I'm going to say hello to the guild seniors who are stationed there, you go to the front and wait for me first. Kai-si greeted and walked towards the hall where the guild was stationed. Good guy. How many contacts does Kai-si have? Do all the seniors in the guild know each other? Seeing this, the others couldn't help laughing. Wait for Kai-si's end. A group of 6 people stepped into the Yanwang Mountains thoroughly. Since it is a team experience, there must be certain requirements for the level of Warcraft. The first order and second order are not challenging. Besides, except for the monsters with special abilities like the Shadow Werewolf, the general price of monster materials for second-tier monsters is only between several thousand and 10,000, and the income is not high. So the group quickly arrived at a location about 80 kilometers away from the guild station. This is a forest environment. Before arriving, I have encountered several Tier 3 and Tier 4 monsters. Just choose here. Mei, use magic to detect the surrounding area. Although Kai-si is a support, she has a lot of experience in playing dungeons, so Luning has no objection to letting her lead the team. Shu Mei nodded, and then began to sing in a low voice. 4th Order Magic Detection Field. The moment the magic was cast, Luning clearly saw that Shu Mei's eyes became hollow. But after a while, the girl showed a terrified and puzzled look. Quick, use the magic flare. It's a swarm of small beasts. We are surrounded by a swarm of small beasts. Her words stunned everyone, especially Luning. He has a question mark on his face. Beast tide. What the hell is it me? Wrong. Luning suddenly moved his nose slightly, and his eyes suddenly became sharp. He smelled a familiar smell. Call out. Regardless of whether Shu Mei was messing around or joking, Lin sent out the magic flare immediately. But the flare hadn't exploded after it took off. He was shot down with extreme precision by a flash of fire. After seeing the magic flare being shot down, the 6 of Luning immediately forgot about the small beast horde that Shu Mei just said, and fully realized that they were being ambushed by someone. Lin's expression changed from daze to astonishment and then to suspicion. There is a ghost inside. He suddenly screamed. Luning is still calm, his mind is spinning fast now. What's the situation? Shu Mei screamed in panic, her reaction was the most authentic. Just as Kai-si was about to speak, she realized that her shoulders tightened, and she was immediately embraced by Luning forcefully. Leading him involuntarily ran towards the side quickly. Luning. She immediately realized that Luning did not trust other people, so she simply had to take the first step. In fact, Luning doesn't trust her very much. But he had to take one person away, otherwise he would be the only one who came back alive when 6 people practiced together. It would be a troublesome matter that everyone could not argue with. In addition, Kai-si is an auxiliary mage, and currently does not have any powerful attack magic, which does not pose much threat to him. Clap. I saw that Luning's whole body was poured with bright lightning, and the speed was as fast as thunder, and he was about to disappear from the sight of the other 4 in the blink of an eye. Want to run? It's too late. A cold snort sounded suddenly. Immediately afterwards, the sky and the earth shone brightly. Luning looked up and found a scroll slowly opening, revealing the landscape painting inside. Is this a magic item mountain and river map? Impossible. This is a 9th level magic item. When Kai-si, who was leaning on Luning's arms, saw the landscape painting, the horror in her heart reached its peak in an instant. The map of mountains and rivers is a magic prop of the space system, which can force a part of the world to be included in the space in the map of mountains and rivers. Before Kai-si could finish speaking, Luning had already taken out the Thunder Teleportation Talisman and activated it immediately. But it seems it's still a step too late. Before he activated the Thunder Teleportation Talisman, he, Kai-si, and Lin were all absorbed into the mountain and river map in an instant. In the map of mountains and rivers, there is a space of its own. But it is a beautiful scene of meandering mountains and rivers. It's just that Luning didn't have time to appreciate the beautiful scenery, and his eyes fell on the 2 people directly in front of him. One of them was tall, with a black hood that made it difficult to see his specific appearance. But the strange smell on his body was still fresh in Luning's memory. It was one of the group of people who met at the exit when Kai-si left the underground city black market. You can even recognize the map of mountains and rivers. You are indeed a talented student of Tianan College, but you are wrong. This is just a fake. Hehe, I don't really think that I will use 9th level magic props to deal with you, isn't that ridiculous? Beside the hooded man, a man in a black robe let out a piercing laugh and said something. Who are you? Kai-Si remained calm and started talking to the other party. Capture the target alive, kill everyone else. Just as the masked man was about to reply, the hooded man beside him urged him coldly. At this time, the 4 of Heilin were 100 meters away from the 2 of Luning. On their side, they were surrounded by 4 men wearing masks. At this time, Luning's expression was so gloomy that water could drip out. Yesterday I was still wondering if this world exists purely to make him happy, and today I will be slapped in the face. His heart suddenly became heavy. Because he was the victim of Chiyu, the other party had a group of people preparing to ambush, obviously targeting one of the other 5 people besides him. Tang Xuan, what are you doing? At this moment, there was movement on Heilin's side. Tang Xuan, who had always been taciturn, put his right hand on his storage bracelet, as if he was about to take out some magic item. Heilin is suspicious by nature, and he already suspects that there is an inner ghost in the team. Now Tang Xuan's actions made him feel like an enemy. Trust me, I'm not a ghost. Tang Xuan gritted his teeth and took out a magic item from the storage bracelet. The magic item looks like a birdcage. This shape is too dangerous. Heilin yelled angrily and asked the other party to put down the magic props, but Tang Xuan had already activated the magic props. The birdcage suddenly rose against the wind and became tens of feet in size, covering Heilin, Tang Xuan, Xu Meimei and Lin Zhou inside. What the hell is this? Xu Meimei was so anxious that she was about to cry. Tang Xuan's birdcage prop has a great protective effect, but the side effect is that drawing the ground as a prison will trap himself. This is just the most helpless tactic to delay the attack. The good news is that there seems to be no high-level mage on the opposite side. The bad news is that there are 6 people in total, all of whom should be at the level of 5th or 6th rank mages. And being able to take out the imitation magic props of the mountain and river map is obviously not a cat or a dog. Not good. Could it be Kai-Si and Luning? The suspicious Heilin suddenly looked at Luning. Luning. Behind. Shadow. Seeing this, Heilin immediately reminded him loudly. From the shadow behind Luning, a figure suddenly appeared and attacked him painfully. Swish. Boom. Before the figure succeeded in attacking, it was caught by Luning's big hand backhand, grabbing his head and forcefully pulling him in front of his eyes. Immediately afterwards, Luning was wrapped in thunder and lightning on the left and right, and blasted towards the opponent's heart. Boom. There was a huge sound, and the latter was shining with the brilliance of the magic shield, but the brilliance became a little dim after being hit by Luning. It is a defensive magic item. This kind of cub who likes to sneak attack will really take some defensive measures for himself. But, weak. Luning's left fist suddenly turned into an afterimage, and dozens of punches came out in succession. While shattering the opponent's defensive magic props, it also blasted out a shocking big blood hole in the opponent's heart. All this happened in just a few seconds, after the sneak attacking cub was killed by Luning in close quarters. However, the man in black robe directly in front of him collapsed into a hidden mist, and then slowly dissipated. It was a kind of shadow clone magic, which confused Luning. The main body took the opportunity to sneak attack despicably. Luning threw the black-robed man's body aside, and the gloom on his face faded a little. What level? Such rubbish can learn how to play sneak attack. His eyes flashed. He looked at the hooded man in front of him with a slightly ferocious look, and the corner of his mouth was full of sarcasm. Luning sarcastic deliberately, in order to provoke the hooded man in front of him. But the other party doesn't seem to be fooled. Luning wouldn't be wary just because he wanted to protect Kai-Si, but he had to beware of some things. For example, whether the imitation mountain and river map has been ambushed in advance by a magic circle or the like. See, Luning whispered something, reminding Kai-Si to use magic to give him some buffs. Oh. Kai-Si came to her senses and immediately began to cast magic. Under her series of status magic buffs, whether it is speed or strength, Luning feels strengthened. Quote. Leave him alone. Looking at the hooded man, there has been no movement, but when the 4 masked men from Heilin's side were about to come towards this side, they immediately stopped them. The magic props that kid used just now are of unusual quality. It won't be so easy to forcefully break open the birdcage. Mada, the fifth brother was killed, I want to help him avenge him. Let's deal with the kid who killed the fifth child first. His strength is a little bit wrong. We need to deal with it as soon as possible. The imitation of the mountain and river map will not last long, so make a quick decision. The four people over there talked to each other, and it seemed that the team did not have such a tacit understanding. The hooded man paused after hearing what the four said, and then replied hoarsely. Okay. 5th rank magic, Mad Blade Chaos Flower. As soon as the man in the hood finished speaking, seeing that one of the four masked men raised his hand immediately. Haha, in an instant, the sound of the wind roared, and dozens of giant wind blades with a size of tens of meters condensed out, and then rushed towards Luning and Kai Si at an astonishing speed. Crazy lightning strike. Looking at the sharp wind blade that was close in front of his eyes, Luning opened his right hand into a palm, and one after another thunderballs condensed out, and immediately went towards the wind blade. Bang bang bang, boom boom boom. The thunderball exploded suddenly, forming a physical shock wave visible to the naked eye, and blasting all the magical wind blades that were at the 5th order level into nothingness. Quote exclamation mark quote. Luning, that's 5th level magic. Isn't Luning 4th level magic? Even with C's status enhancing magic, the effect can't be so exaggerated. This Luning. The four of Heilin were dumbfounded immediately, as if the scene they saw was extremely unreal. Luning. A look of excitement appeared on Kai Si's pretty face. Aren't you a freshman from Tianan College? Easy to deal with 5th level magic, this is the level of quasi-sequence students. We can't afford to mess with quasi-sequence students. Can't afford it. You've already provoked me, kill. The four masked men were obviously frightened by Luning, but they had no choice but to shoot. 6th order magic, stream fire rain. One of them had finished chanting the magic spell at this moment, and thus cast a 6th level magic. Suddenly, the limited space in this mountain and river map suddenly became extremely hot. High above the sky, giant flames condensed one after another, completely covering the top of the head. 6th order magic. Heilin only felt that his stomach suddenly hurt. If you encounter a villain who kills people and steals money, then maybe you can scare them with the name of Tianan College. But this kind of deliberate and prepared ambush, including the ambush team of the 6th order mage, made it clear that there would be no survivors. The hooded man saw that the 6th level magic had been cast. He suddenly rushed towards the four of Heilin. Obviously, the target he was looking for was one of the four Heilin. Boom. There was a sudden explosion under the hooded man's feet, and he did not see any magic, and the whole person went towards Heilin and the others like an arrow from the string. It can be seen that this is also a powerful body training mage, and the speed of pure physical explosion is already so terrifying. Not good. What a speed. Quick, use magic to entangle him. Look at mine, the magic item Cursed Mirror. However, as soon as the hooded man took action, his four teammates screamed in panic. He couldn't help but stop and glanced behind him. Seeing this, the eyes hidden under the hood suddenly shrank into needlepoints. Luning grabbed Kai Si and threw her away. And he immediately put on a layer of lightning armor. The 6th level magic, flowing fire rain, poured fiercely on Luning's head like a river of flame pouring from the sky. But under the powerful defense of the thunder shield, the 6th order magic only made the lightning armor condensed on his body start to appear disordered, and could not break through the defense. In this way, Luning directly ignored the follow-up power of the 6th order magic. He is at full speed. His feet were like stepping on thunder, and his whole body turned into a blue-white thunder, leaving a series of afterimages under the ultra-high-speed movement. Between the afterimages, there seems to be lightning connected, and it is impossible to catch it with the naked eye. Boom, pacha. Luning dodges and moves, and has already come to a masked man. A thunder dragon's bending fist blasts out, and the latter's head is instantly exploded, causing a pool of bloody fireworks. This person had just died, but Luning in front of him had already turned into an afterimage again, and came in front of another person. 5th level magic 4-pillar wall. The second person's reaction is not slow, and the 5th order magic he is best at is almost instantaneous, but when the earth wall just rose from the ground under his feet, a fist wrapped in lightning punched a fist hole from the earth wall, knocking the two exploded their heads again. Then the third person. The other party was a 6th level mage, and he didn't look so depressed after casting 6th level magic. It can be seen that Luning killed 2 teammates in less than a second, and this person was already frightened a little bit stiff. The jaw of the Thunder Dragon. Ben Lei Ji. To deal with the 6th order mage, Luning obviously increased his strength. When he closed his fists, the tip of his fists was raging with thunder and lightning, and there was the sound of Thunder Dragon's roar. Boom. The 6th level mage was easier to kill than the 5th level mage, but he lost his mind for a moment, and Luning evaporated his body from the head down into scorched meat. One person left. Help me. The man ran in the direction of the hooded man desperately. However, Luning turned around and came under Kai Si, who had been thrown away by him just now, and took the ladder firmly. The roar of the Thunder Dragon. At the same time as taking Kai Si, Luning's chest area swelled high, and he immediately opened his mouth and squirted. The 4th masked man dare not look back. But from the eyes of the hooded man, he saw the thunder reflected from behind. He couldn't even utter a scream, and it disappeared in the Thunder Dragon's roar in an instant, but the lightning beam that was as straight as light never stopped, and he wanted to kill the hooded man with all his might. A stern look flashed across the astonished eyes of the hooded man. He pushed his arms forward and stretched forward. It was the roar of a daring Yigao who wanted to directly meet the Thunder Dragon. Ning. Luning. Luning is so strong. Oh my god. So handsome. Looking at the 4 of Heilin again, the scene of Luning killing the 4 masked men instantly played back in his mind, and all this happened in just a second or two. Especially the girl Shu Meimei. Her focus is different from the other 3 boys. When she watched Luning take over Kai Si steadily, her eyes were completely filled with Luning's cool and handsome figure. What the hell? Heilin glanced at Shu Meimei next to her, as if seeing red hearts glowing in her eyes. Luning instantly killed the enemy with an extremely crushing momentum, which greatly boosted the morale of Heilin and others. Team leader Daddy C is so powerful, he couldn't help puffing out his chest proudly. But the battle is not over. The Thunder Dragon's roar had reached its full potential, and it clashed with the hooded man's arms. A trace of astonishment flickered in Luning's eyes. Although Thunder Dragon's roar is not his strongest move now, its lethality is absolutely beyond doubt. If the other party dodges, that's fine. But the opponent chose to use the most direct way of hard resistance. Buzz. Thunderbolt. The dull popping and thundering sounds are endless. Roaring thunder and lightning began to spread across the hooded man's body like tarsal maggots, but the latter only moved slowly and retreated, showing no signs of collapsing at all. The clothes on the hooded man began to be damaged, gradually revealing his true face. It was a middle-aged man with blood-red eyes, about 1.9 meters tall, with a strong build, and cumbersome magic circle textures on his brownish-yellow skin. Well, at this time, the hooded man suddenly shouted. Black and red magic power burst out from his whole body, and the magic power gave people an extremely ominous premonition. The man in the hood obviously used magic, which greatly increased his physical strength at the moment. It was actually a lift of both arms, abruptly turning the momentum of Thunder Dragon's roar to the sky. Boy, what I want to do has nothing to do with you. I just want to take one of them away, that's all. You are so talented, you must have a bright future, don't make mistakes. The hooded man raised his head, staring at Luning with scarlet eyes. Brother Lu, don't listen to him, make it quick. Heilin shouted after hearing this. This Heilin is the most thoughtful, because he wasn't sure if the person the other party wanted was him. After all, Heilin's family also has some background, which is worth kidnapping. It is very likely that they still have a backhand, and maybe there are other companions outside. Lu, Brother Lu, if I'm not mistaken, the texture of the magic circle on this person's body is a kind of magic circle branding, body training magic. The substantial increase in strength, but the time cannot last for too long, and the sequelae are extremely strong, and you will completely lose your fighting ability, so you can deal with it. Seeing Heilin calling Brother Lu, Tang Xuan, who had been silent all this time, changed his words and reminded him. I won't say the same thing a second time. The hooded man ignored Heilin and the others, keeping his eyes on Luning. Luning raised his eyebrows. He replied calmly, there is no such reason in the world. Since you have already killed your people, of course you must kill them all to avoid future troubles. I don't know how to flatter. Forget it, Ku Heng, would not have wasted my life if I crushed a top genius with my own hands. The hooded man Ku Heng suddenly sneered. At some point, a potion bottle appeared in his hand, and when he opened it, a strong bloody smell wafted through his nostrils. How can Luning let the other party get what they want? The whole person suddenly turned into a bolt of thunder, and rushed towards the opponent with lightning speed. Gurgling, but it was still a step too late, and the hooded man swallowed the unknown blood-colored liquid in the medicine bottle. Ah! He suddenly screamed in pain, and his whole body was undergoing obvious changes. The hooded man, who was originally 1 meter and 9 heads, began to swell his muscles like a bulging balloon, and his height suddenly rose to more than 3 meters. The skin of the whole body also turned crimson, the face of the human being also became hideous like a hellish ghost, and a bloody unicorn grew out of his forehead. Transform. Luning was shocked. This is... Kai Si's beautiful eyes widened suddenly. Is it the demon clan from the Ruins continent? Lin Zhou from Helin's side blurted out in shock. No, he just turned into a demon, not a real demon. Kai Si yelled, wanting to remind Luning. But the opponent's attack has already attacked Luning at this moment. Demon magic dark vortex power. The wide left palm of the hooded man who turned into a demon monster flicked towards the void of Luning. His palm was filled with black magic power, which was extremely attractive, making Luning, who was already rushing forward, unable to stop for a while, so he hurried towards him. Dark body magic fist of the black sky. Seeing Luning being sucked involuntarily by him, the demon monster's right fist had already begun to gather strength. The magic power that was so thick that it was almost black viscous liquid wrapped his right fist, and when the magic was cast, it even bloomed a dazzling black color. Not good. The monster's right fist. Why do I feel that the surrounding space seems to be distorted? Helin and the others did not expect the two poles to reverse so quickly. Just now it was Luning who killed the world, but now it is extremely dangerous. Thunder escape body. Ben Lei Ji. Luning didn't panic, and immediately opened up 2 layers of lightning defenses. Ben Leiji's lightning shield can be superimposed with the thunder shield. Boom, boom. At the same time as the lightning defense was generated, the demon monster's right fist hit Luning's abdomen. Kai Si was behind Luning, and she could clearly see a penetrating shock wave exploding from Luning's back. This frightened her to cover her mouth with her hands, her face full of panic. Something, but not much. Luning grinned as he looked at the giant fist that was pressing against his heart. It is true that the opponent smashed his own defense with a punch. But most of the power has been unloaded, and the rest can be held by Luning's pure physical strength. Quote! After the transformation, Ku Heng's tyrannical scarlet eyes flashed with shock. So strong. This kid has such a strong defense. Is it really a college freshman? But his magic doesn't stop there. Ku Heng stretched his fist into a palm and pressed it on Luning's heart like this. Luning's face immediately changed. The dark magic of this hairy thing is even weirder than he imagined, and it can even absorb the magic power in his body. Even if the magic power in his body is thunder magic power, it can still be absorbed. This is not a good sign. Luning still has a lot of moves and tricks, but if the opponent keeps sucking him up, and his own background is insufficient, then no matter how strong the move is, he will not be able to use it. Just try that trick. Thunderbolt. Luning let out a low cry in his heart, and his whole body was instantly covered by endless thunder. In the state of the King of Thunder, Luning is in the state of superior body, which can ignore most of the restraints and negative magic. Among them is the magic power absorption of this dark magic. Smashing the darkness with thunder, the character attributes are right. Luning became the Queen of Thunder. Its current gain is about a 10-fold increase in all aspects. Whether it is physical strength, speed, strength, etc., it has increased by nearly 10 times. Of course, this move consumes a lot of energy and has strong side effects. Powerful. An extremely powerful sense of déjà vu came to Luning's heart. This is his all-out thunder transformation, which is much stronger than the previous test. After transforming, Luning, except for his underwear, all his clothes were destroyed. He was bare-chested, his body grew, his hair was like a thunder arc, and every muscle in his body seemed to contain the explosive power of thunder. Boom. Luning made a simple flat A, and saw that half of Ku Heng's body was directly blown into pieces. On transformation, your purity is too low. Ah. Half of his body was blown up, and Ku Heng cried out in pain. Regeneration. He roared continuously, but the broken parts of his body were filled with the power of thunder, which made his powerful physical regeneration ability useless after transformation. While Luning shot, his passive will naturally trigger as well. I saw a thunderbolt falling from the sky and slamming on Ku Heng's head. The 5 huge thunder drums behind Luning were also roaring at this moment, wanting to send down thunderbolts to strike at the opponent. But Kuang didn't last until then. After the transformation, Luning has been improved by more than 10 times in all aspects, and the combat power brought by it is completely crushing. As the sky thunder landed, Ku Heng died. Luning was silent for a while, as if he was not enjoying himself. He immediately came into contact with the transformation state, took out a magic potion from the storage ring and drank it. Luning has long been prepared for the transformation of explosive clothes. His underwear is made of special magic material, which can withstand the damage to the clothes after transformation to a certain extent. He successfully avoided the embarrassment of exposing his big cannon to the eyes of others. After Ku Heng's death, the imitation map of mountains and rivers also lost its effect, and the 6 people of Luning and 6 other corpses were released from it. We're out. After seeing the surrounding environment clearly, Lin called softly. He took a deep breath, his eyes fell on Luning who was changing clothes, his expression was mixed. After seeing Luning's terrifying and exaggerated combat power, for a moment, he only felt that the world had become a little dreamy, and he didn't know how to describe the existence of Luning. The same is true for most of the others. After the shock, the joy of the rest of the life after the catastrophe naturally gradually surged up. Luning put away the storage magic props of Ku Heng and the 6 people one by one, including the imitation map of mountains and rivers. This imitation map of mountains and rivers. Luning looked at the scroll landscape painting in his hand, with a strange expression on his face. In order to pursue the effect, the imitation products generally have great defects, and some can only be used once. Sister Kai came over and said so. Luning was a little stunned. Come here too. He then waved to the 4 of Lin. Luning, you are amazing, you are amazing. Shu Meimei stared at Luning with staring eyes. She looks like a nympho girl. Her reaction was too exaggerated and direct, which made Luning a little surprised and uncomfortable. Brother Lu, we can't relax our vigilance yet. We can be ambushed so easily, there must be ghosts among us. Lin came over and said solemnly. He guessed that Luning was going to find out the ghost next. However, Luning didn't have this idea at all. Starting from the teleportation array of Tianan College, there are probably only a few options for the destination of the teleportation. In each selected position, if a group of 6 like Ku Heng is arranged, there is a high probability of catching Luning and the others. This is probably the reason why Ku Heng and the others only had 6 people, a relatively small number. Rather than saying that there is an inner ghost among the 6 of them, it would be better to say that someone in the academy knew that they were going out for training today, and then leak the news. Afterwards, I will send you to the guild station. Who is the ghost, you can find out by yourself. Luning waved his hand and said something. Okay. Lin didn't dare to say no at this time. Then Luning asked what he was concerned about, and asked, do you have a way to decipher the magic spells on these storage magic items? Ah, I can't help it. Lin replied quickly. Luning glanced at the kid. It seems that it is not used for hanging, but I did not expect it to be used for hanging. Lin Zhou, who has no sense of existence, suddenly said, to crack such a magic formula requires special magic, and there should be many tutors in the academy who are dedicated to studying magic. In addition, the Dark Chamber of Commerce in the dungeon also has method, but they will collect half of the dirt in the storage magic item as a reward. Luning glanced at Kai Si, who nodded. Lin Zhou was right. This made Luning temporarily put away the storage magic props. Then, Luning asked again, what kind of demon clan in the Ruins continent did you mention just now? It's weird. Luning learned about the general situation of this world through the internet before. There are no relic continents, only ancient magic relics. As for other races, it seems that there are only Warcraft. When the other 5 people heard Lu Ning's words, they suddenly looked surprised. Kai Mizi reacted quickly, and hurriedly said, Lu Ning has always been obsessed with cultivation and doesn't care about other things. Let me explain. Lu Ning looked at her, waiting for her introduction. Kai Mizi said, there has always been a legend about the existence of our world, that is, the one who created this world was a magician who stepped into the level of gods. This is a legend that became popular 500 years ago, because 500 years ago, there was a space crack leading to another world in our world, and we called that world the Relic Continent. Lu Ning listened carefully. Sister Qi's recounting is very organized. There are many ruins left by ancient magicians in the continent of ruins, as well as some natural secret places, full of opportunities but also accompanied by huge risks. What prevents humans from conquering the ruins continent is that there are many highly intelligent and powerful races on that continent, and the demon clan is one of them. In addition, the magical power of heaven and earth in the ruined continent is more than 10 times stronger than that of the blue star. Most importantly, the ruins found on the ruined continent proved that humans once lived in the ruined continent, and even had a glorious history of civilization. That's why the legend about the creation of the blue star gradually became popular, saying that the world of the ruined continent is the origin of human beings and magic. It is worth mentioning that 500 years ago, the empire was a completely feudal environment, and those who were eligible to learn magic were either rich or noble, and only those with a certain status were eligible to learn magic. Even if the talent is high, but the background is humble, then stealing magic without authorization is a capital offense. This is the means by which the empire consolidates its rule. But because of the emergence of the ruins continent, the theory of alien harm has entered the political stage, which has made some people with lofty ideals vigorously promote the development and promotion of magic learning. And it turned out, it worked. Regardless of their status, the Tianan Academy of Magic, which is open to everyone, was also established under the background of that era. Until now, it has gradually evolved into this glorious era of magic for all. Spirit magician created the blue star world. Lu Ning deliberated on this legend, and subconsciously looked at the blue sky above his head. Seeing the scorching sun, Lu Ning was momentarily distracted. Suddenly thought of something, Lu Ning asked casually. Speaking of the gods, it's the 11th level, the 9th level is the Great Magister, what is the 10th level? Is Ardeen the 10th level? Shu Mei rushed to show, and replied, the 10th rank is the Magic Emperor. At present, there are only 4 10th rank Law Emperors in the entire Blue Star, namely the Wonglong Emperor of the Huang Empire, the Blood Emperor of the Qian Empire, and the Skyfire Emperor of our Yan Empire. And one more. The other one is the president of the Blue Star Magic Association, the Emperor Kungxing, President Lin Kungxing Lin. Shu Mei also added, the most mysterious thing is the Wonglong Emperor of the Huang Empire. Even at their National Day ceremony, the Wonglong Emperor did not show up. It is said that the Wonglong Emperor has secretly fallen. Lu Ning. 6. Lu Ning looked pensive. This magical world is more vast and magnificent than he imagined, and it even involves this world and another world. Is that the reason? It is precisely because of the appearance of the relic continent that the phenomenon of universal magic can be maintained. With Blue Star's resources alone, it is impossible for tens of billions of humans to practice magic. But with the addition of a vast relic continent world resource, it will be different. Lu Ning, shall we go back to the guild station now? Seeing Lu Ning pondering for a long time, Lin couldn't help but said. If something goes wrong, there must be a demon, he just wants to stop this field experience quickly. Of course, but wait a minute. Lu Ning nodded. He then pressed his ear to the ground. This action made everyone a little confused, and Lin Zhou, who had no sense of presence, followed suit. Boom boom boom. As soon as Lin Zhou put his ear to his face, he heard the tremor of the earth not far away. Student Shu's previous detection is correct, there is indeed a beast tide. Lu Ning stood up again and said to Shu Mei, just call me Mei. Shu Mei replied a little shyly. She seemed to feel that with Lu Ning around, even some small animal hordes would not be able to stop Lu Ning. Lu Ning frowned slightly. Is this a small beast tide caused by the 6 people of Ku Hang, in order to put their death on the beast tide as a cover-up? Or was he thinking too much, just a small animal riot? After all, This is the Yanwang mountain range, which is one of the habitats of the largest number of blue star monsters. It is not even a low probability event for a small animal swarm to occur. Oh, check-in. Thinking of this, Luning suddenly found that today's check-in was online. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the ability move from the daily check-in, Breath of Thunder. Goldfinger's prompt sounded immediately, making Luning's eyes light up. Thunder Breath. Every time after obtaining an ability move, Luning's total magic power limit will be expanded once, and this time is no exception. The total magic power has increased from 133,000 to 160,000, and at the same time, the physical fitness has also increased by 50 numerical points. This rate of improvement is enough to explain the impressiveness of the ability, Thunder Breath. It seems that this ability can only be displayed with a knife skill. But this is not a problem. When you get the Breath of Thunder, the corresponding knife skills are also presented as a gift. Among other things, Luning now takes out his 5th order magic weapon, the Thunder Hangdao, and can use the various moves of Breath of Thunder. 1 type Thunderbolt Flash, Thunderbolt Flash 6-8 Company, Thunderbolt Flash Super Speed. 7 type Fire God of Thunder and so on. The characteristic of Thunder's breath is speed. And after this ability has become the reality of this world, every breath of Luning is an automatic breath of thunder, which greatly enhances his resilience and a certain degree of combat explosiveness. With the superimposition of the number of abilities and moves, there will be no phenomenon of being too greedy. Instead, various abilities and status effects will be superimposed, making me stronger. Thinking of this, the corners of Luning's mouth couldn't help but curl up. Let's go, he then urged, and led the other 5 people towards the direction of the guild station. I thought it was only about 80 kilometers away from the guild station, and it was completely in time. But Luning and others completely underestimated the scale of this beast tide. Buzz buzz. A few minutes ago, a harsh warning sounded over the border city of Tianan province. Is this the warning sound of the scale of the first level beast horde? I'm going. The first level beast tide broke out in the Yanwang mountains. Maid, I just run away. All intersections in the border town have been blocked, and all magicians belonging to the Yan Empire will be forcibly recruited to resist the beast tide. Don't worry, the border town's defense has already been baptized by many beast tides, and we are confident in the strength of the border town's magic army. Quote. The entire border town has become a bit chaotic, but the beast tide is not the first time, and the magic army in the border town has enough experience. They must first summon the magicians in the city to unite the living forces as quickly as possible. Secondly, the support from the inner city behind will also be accelerated. At this very moment, at the city wall of the border city, the city lord of the border town, Wu Fei, was looking at the magnificent scene in the distance below. It was an endless wave of beasts that almost covered the entire land in the distance. To the city lord, explain. The reason for the beast swarm has been found out. It is due to the sudden appearance of space cracks in the Yanwang mountains leading to the ruins continent. Most of this large-scale monster swarm came from the ruins continent, but it also affected the local monsters in the Yanwang mountains. Cracks in space. Wu Fei's gaze suddenly became extremely solid. The city lord then asked, the space crack that was discovered, is there any trace of artificial opening? This is difficult to find out at the moment. Wu Fei let out a breath. How about the deputy city lord? The deputy city lord is still in touch and is leading the high-level monsters to deviate from the direction. Wu Fei hummed. The most troublesome beast tide is often the high-level monsters. And the scale of the beast horde in front of us was in the millions, which was not too exaggerated, and it was within the capability of the border town. At the same time, other aspects of the border town have also been prepared. The magic protection array can be activated at any time. The 12 magic cannons on the city wall are also ready. The magic army in the border town has assembled. The temporary formation of magicians in the border town has also been initially completed. Prepare for the high-altitude magic elite team. The temporary integration of the guild's resident mages has been completed. The rescue team is on standby. Quote. Defense is the main thing. If the beast tide can't break through the magic protection array, it's just nonsense after all. Wu Fei gave the order. Then he looked into the distance, and he couldn't help sighing when he saw some magicians who were running for their lives in the crowd of beasts. I don't know how many people will die because of this time. The other side. The 6 people of Luning were there. They finally came to the station of the Tianan Guild, only to find that the mage here had already left first. Quick, activate the teleportation magic circle at the guild station. Luning gave a loud order. No, the guild's stationed mages are retreating, and the teleportation magic circle must be sealed. This is to prevent high-level monsters from using the magic circle to directly teleport to the hinterland city of the Yan Empire. Kai-Si shook her head violently. The teleportation magic circle could not be used. Luning. Grass. He suddenly discovered that he seemed to have a shortcoming. He can't fly. He can't fly. Maid, it's fine if Goulardo can't fly, but neither can I. Thinking of flying, Luning couldn't help but look up at the sky. Strictly speaking, Luning can fly, and he can provide thrust by releasing the power of lightning, making his body gallop in the sky. But in that case, the consumption will be huge, and the advantages of the physical body cannot be fully utilized in the high-altitude environment, and the speed is far inferior to the speed of running on the ground. What Luning wants is flying magic, which can reduce the consumption of its own magic power while maintaining high speed. Heilin, you are a wind mage, you should have mastered flying magic, right? Luning turned to ask Heilin, who was already in a state of desperation. When Heilin Yi heard this, his expression suddenly collapsed. The lowest level of flying magic is 5th level magic. I haven't mastered it yet. Luning. Heilin still didn't say that the guild's base is at least 100 kilometers away from the border town. Even if he could cast flying magic, he wouldn't be able to last that long, let alone bring 5 other people with him. Boom boom boom. The roar on the ground became louder and louder, and it was still rushing from all directions. Look at the sky, Shu Meimei suddenly exclaimed. I saw a wind mage flying with his companions above the heads of Luning and the others. Those people seemed to have noticed Luning and the others, but ignored them. Hey, however, in the next second, a sharp and long howling resounded all around, and a giant bird monster with a wingspan of tens of meters forcibly broke into Luning's sight at an absolute supersonic speed. The mages in the high sky were swallowed by the giant bird and beast without even screaming, and died. A high-level monster, the Sky Rift Falcon. Heilin and the others who watched this scene were extremely terrified, and the heights were not safe. When the beast horde broke out, there was no other way to be absolutely safe except to leave the teleportation array directly. And Luning's previous thunder teleportation talisman was offset by the ability of the imitation mountain and river map, and it is gone. At this time, Luning looked at Kai-Si and the other 5 and said, Next, I will try to take you to the border town, but if I encounter danger, I will give up on you without hesitation. I hope you are mentally prepared. Luning. The 5 of them looked at Luning, glanced at each other, and nodded heavily. The fact that Luning didn't leave them directly was already enough to make them grateful. How dare they ask for more? Next, Luning put Heilin, Lin Zhou, and Tang Xuan behind his back, and wrapped his left and right hands around Kai-Si and Shu Meimei. Kai-Si was still a little shy. It was Shu Meimei who stared at Luning with a ruddy face, as if she couldn't bear to take her eyes off her. Let's go. Luning ignored the nympho girl, let out a low drink, and a thunderstorm erupted under his feet, and his whole body turned into a rainbow of lightning and ran across the ground. Flash. Ben Lei Ji. And the breath of thunder that I just got. Luning used all his powers, and the explosive speed was superimposed. In addition, the 5 of them, together with Kai-Si, were covered with lightning shields, so they could fully withstand the resistance damage caused by high-speed movement. At this time, Luning's pure movement speed has infinitely approached the speed of sound. Of course, if he didn't have to bring Kai-Si and 5 people with him, he would naturally be able to easily break through the speed of sound. At the current speed, Luning will be able to cross 100 kilometers and reach the border town in about 5 or 6 minutes. However, the actual operation takes longer. Because there is a wave of warcraft beasts in front of him, Luning needs to break through the tide of beasts. Bang bang bang. Luning didn't care about that much anymore, so he hit him hard. He rushed into the army of beast horde, with a speed close to the speed of sound coupled with a powerful lightning shield. He directly smashed all the low-level monsters along the way into a pulp. This scene looks extremely bloody and shocking. One after another, the monsters were crushed by Luning, and the blue and white lightning around him was stained with blood. If viewed from above, it's just that there is a bunch of bloody thunder and lightning light trailing the tail below, which is unstoppable in the beast army. In this raging tide of beasts, there are groups of mages surrounded. They were able to deal with it at first, but after a long time, they couldn't stand the endless attacks of low-level monsters. Brother, I can't do it anymore. The magic power in my body is exhausted, and the magic potion is gone. Don't worry about me, brother. Let's go. You, where are you going? Life and death depend on fate. We have been wandering in the Yanwang Mountains for so many years, and we have been cautious until the end of our lives. I didn't expect that today we will fall into this sudden beast tide. At this time, I don't want to hide it anymore, third child, in fact, What is it? Right now, this team of magicians is lamenting the last time of their lives, when suddenly a bloody horse passes them by at a very fast speed. The low-level magical beasts that surrounded them smashed into pieces of bone and flesh in an instant. In the dense army of beast hordes, a straight line of bloody vacuum suddenly appeared. It's a human mage, the leader of the team exclaimed, but when he looked again, he could only vaguely see some bloody lightning tails, and the person who rushed forward disappeared from their sight after only one encounter. Another group of mages. Kai Si glanced back, with a little sadness in her eyes. They were covered by Luning's lightning shield, and under this super-fast movement, they felt relatively still. No discomfort, only the bloody scene that kept flying in front of them reminded them that this was not a dream. Luning. Heilin was already too excited at this moment. He was already ready to be abandoned by Luning, but he didn't expect that Luning was so powerful. A quasi-sequence student. No, quasi-sequence students are not as perverted as Luning. Monster. Luning is a monster plus monster. But what's the matter with this invincible sense of security that fills my heart and makes me feel warm? Heilin shouted in his heart. The sense of crisis disappeared in front of the sense of security given by Luning. He even took time to look at Shu Meimei, who was hugging Luning tightly. Ah, Luning, you are amazing. The girl was yelling excitedly at this moment, shouting bad lines, not sure if she was scared or excited. Heilin's gaze then turned to Tang Xuan, who was also lying on Luning's back. Seeing him looking over, Tang Xuan thought he was going to say something, so he subconsciously moved his head. Then I heard Heilin Fuer whispering, "Brother Lu, forever God." Tang Xuan, +1. At the city wall, the defensive battle has begun. The magic protection array was activated, forming a magic wall with a height of 100 meters to block the thousands of beasts. Left. Magic attack. The magic army in the border town was divided into combat groups and cast magic remotely at the same time. For magicians, defensive position warfare is extremely good. With a large protective formation blocking the front, the magic army only needs to cast magic in an orderly manner. A magician's magical power may not be enough, but if the number increases and they cast magic at the same time, even high-level magisters and high-level monsters will die instantly on the spot. At this very moment, in the sky directly in front of the city wall of the border city, colorful magic attack radiance rose, shining brightly. Boom boom boom. These magical attacks fell on the beast tide, no less than indiscriminate bombing, and the effect was quite effective. Thousands of monsters were instantly killed just by facing each other. However, there are too many beast hordes this time, and it is impossible to eliminate the beast horde in a short time. Fortunately, the high-level main force of the magic army in the border town led away most of the high-level monsters, otherwise the situation would be even more anxious. It's the first time I've seen such a mighty animal horde. But looking at it, it seems that there is no need for us to take action. Most of the high-level monsters have been lured away, and the low-level monsters alone cannot break through the protective formation. Don't take it lightly. What if a 9th-level monster suddenly appears? It doesn't matter, I will make a move when the time comes. Since you made a move, then I won't make a move. Quote. Compared with the magic army, the border city magicians who were forcibly recruited on the city wall seemed a lot more relaxed, and even talked and laughed. It's really unlucky, I finally followed the guild to search for the ruins, but when I encountered a wave of beasts, Senior Lu went to attract high-level monsters, and we have to stand by here to deal with emergencies. On one part of the city wall, a beautiful girl wearing a mage's robe couldn't help complaining. Things are unpredictable. Thanks to Senior Lu's detection of the beast tide in advance, we can come back in time, otherwise we will be like those people. Next to the beautiful girl, a young man replied with some emotion. Wherever he looked, it can be clearly seen that many magicians are trapped a few kilometers away from the border city wall. Because they are deeply trapped in the belly of the beast horde, their side cannot make effective rescue operations, and can only ignore them and die. Yang Yan, you haven't said a word since just now. Is this the first time you've seen the beast tide? The young man withdrew his gaze and asked the silent ponytail girl beside him. The ponytail girl is Yang Yan, who invited Luning to explore the ruins before. It seems that the ruins she mentioned are also in the Yangwang Mountains, but because there are senior magisters of the 7th rank in this guild operation, they gave early warning and returned to the border town in time. Yang Yan nodded. It was indeed the first time for her to see the beast tide, so she was always a little dazed, shocked by the spectacular scene in front of her. Look, what's that? High-level monsters. There is an emergency. At this moment, the exclamation of others suddenly sounded from the city wall. Everyone looked down. A bloody gash was forcibly torn open behind the densely packed animal army that looked like a whole piece of cloth. A blood-colored thunder and lightning light group dragged the tail of Cheng Hong, and was rushing towards the border city wall at an indescribably terrifying speed to kill the army of beasts. It was Luning. It's about the same as I expected. My current strength is enough to carry a few burdens. And, using this method of actively trying the limit, it seems that there is a similar chemical reaction to the dragon-slaying magic, and the body is stronger. Luning's mind turned. A very strange feeling flows through the whole body. The magic power in the body is really short, but the pure physical foundation is actually increasing, as if there is an inexhaustible strength all over the body. From the depths of the body, it seems that an indescribable special power has emerged. At this time, Luning didn't realize that there was a faint shape of dragon scales on his left cheek. It's Longhua. It was Luning's attempt to approach his limit with the burden of taking the initiative, which made him start the sign of dragon transformation. Dragon transformation, or complete transformation into a dragon, is an unavoidable fate for a dragon slayer magician. However, it is undeniable that in the dragon form, even at the beginning, Luning's physical strength has been greatly improved. That's why he didn't get any supplies halfway, but he has been able to maintain this high speed until now. Although Luning didn't realize that the dragon scales had emerged on his face, he had a faint guess about it in his heart. Boom! The distance of several kilometers came in an instant, and Luning, who couldn't stop the car, slammed into the magic shield of the protective formation, causing him to shake his head in a strange way, and the lightning shield on his body was also affected by it. All collapsed. It's a person, or one person with 5 people. Awesome. Who is this boss? Who am I? Just turn on shaking hands and record your tough life. When Luning came to the foot of the city wall, his blood-soaked figure was clearly seen by everyone in the city wall. Luning. Yang Yan opened her mouth slightly, her beautiful eyes full of incredulity. At the same time, a female voice sounded in Yang Yan's mind. This kid has the blood of a dragon in his body. Senior Holy Spirit, you're awake. Yang Yan was taken aback for a moment, then overjoyed. In this world, it seems to be accepted that geniuses have secrets. Although Yang Yan's talent is currently not as good as that of the quasi-sequence students, her luck is not shallow. In the relics of ancient magic, she was even voluntarily recognized by a remnant soul of the Holy Spirit. Well, I woke up, but it didn't last long. I didn't expect to encounter an interesting thing just after waking up, the descendant of the dragon's blood. Or, a brand new magic created with the power of the dragon's blood. The voice of the Holy Spirit's remnant soul was mixed with some incomprehensible doubts. Look at Luning again. He took Kai Si and the 5 of them jumped up. Wu Fei, the lord of the border town, waved his big hand at the moment he jumped up, and a giant palm of water wave was formed directly. The giant palm gently grasped Luning and the 6 people, and then placed them on the city wall securely. Tian'an College, freshman Luning, thank you senior for helping me. After Luning stood firm, he hurriedly bowed to Wu Fei from a distance. City Lord Wu Fei nodded, and said with a light smile, the quasi-sequence students of Tian'an College this year are a little different from the past. The city lord subconsciously regarded Luning as a quasi-sequence student of the academy. When Luning couldn't stop the car and hit the protective formation, his signs of dragon transformation had disappeared, so the city lord didn't notice anything. Luning took the towel handed over by Kaisi and began to wipe the blood on his face. He suddenly noticed something. Looking around, he found that the eyes of everyone on the city wall were all on him, and their expressions were all dumbfounded. Is this him, a college freshman? Chapter 31. Everyone was astonished. The big brother, who was able to forcibly fight his way out of such a beast horde, and brought 5 people with him, was actually a freshman of Tianan College. This is too exaggerated. The mages who were chatting and laughing at the city wall just now were all silent at this moment. They have laughed at their own gap with the geniuses. But now that I have witnessed it with my own eyes, I know that the previous self-mockery was actually self-flattering. The real gap with geniuses has long been beyond their imagination. After wiping the blood off his face, Luning and Kaisi and the other 5 left the city wall. It stands to reason. The beast tide is not over yet, no one can leave the border town. But everyone has seen that Luning led his little friends to fight a way out from the beast tide. Naturally, he felt that he would not have any combat power in a short time, so he turned a blind eye. After leaving the city wall, the 6 people sat on Kaisi's magic flying carpet in a slightly crowded manner, and flew towards Tianan College slowly. Kaisi deliberately slowed down. Therefore, after a few hours, everyone returned to Tianan College. The first thing after returning to the hospital was, of course, to report on the ambushes of the 6 of them. Because it involves the demon race in the Ruins continent. Therefore, the school attaches great importance to this, and asked the dean of the school to ask the 6 people about specific matters one by one. Depressingly, the magic storage items that Luning captured, and the imitation mountain and river maps that I don't know if they can still be used were all taken away by the hospital, saying that they would start investigations from this aspect. After finishing these things, Luning returned to his student villa helplessly. He recalled this field experience trip. The biggest gain is the breath of thunder that he got when he signed in. Other than that, he didn't earn any Warcraft materials, and he didn't encounter any opportunities in the wild. However, due to the crisis of the beast tide, Luning activated the power of the dragon seed in his body, giving him the initial special ability to transform into a dragon. This kind of harvest, Luning has not yet reacted to. Villa living room. Luning looked at Lei Yuanwan on the table with a thoughtful expression. He was on guard. He didn't bring the Lei Yuanwan that Bai Shui gave him with him when he went out this time, for fear of having a positioning function. But now it seems that I think too much. After a while, Luning shook his head, did not pick up the Lei Yuanwan, went to take a bath, and then fell asleep. Until the next day, he woke up feeling refreshed and refreshed. Open your own personal panel to see. Sure enough, the total amount of magic power and physical fitness have improved. This shows that when he is on the verge of his limit, his potential will be effectively stimulated. But yesterday at that time was not the real limit, just a false limit. What I have to do today is to practice the cooperation between Breath of Thunder and Saber technique, and combine this ability with other moves. And today, on Yan Empire's network platform, a video is being clicked and watched frantically. The video is exactly what Luning led Kaisi and 5 people out of the siege of the beast horde. The title is, Tianzhao. The hidden 5th person among Tianan College's Tianzhao freshmen, Luning. Single quote. The beast tide in the border town is not over yet. Taking advantage of the popularity of the beast craze, Luning's video topped the online hot list in one fell swoop. Let Luning, who was originally a little famous, spread throughout the entire Yan Empire, and even the Huang Empire and the Qian Empire had no shortage of people to discuss him. With the help of information dissemination in modern society, whether it is the strongest is unclear, but Luning has indeed become the most famous freshman of the Yan Empire this year. Compared with the last time when Yan Empire ranked first in the unified examination of all colleges, Luning has truly stepped onto the huge stage of Yan Empire, and even more so in the name of Tianzhao. Good guy. This Luning, is he really so powerful? He doesn't come from an ordinary family, how did he cultivate? The video is real, and that fellow Heelin is talking about Luning to everyone he sees now, and he even said that Luning is the strongest freshman in the academy this year, stronger than the other 4 quasi-sequence academies. I really don't know if he's playing with the rhythm or he really admires Luning. He Lin. His father is a member of the board of directors of the Tianan Province Magic Weapon Company. He has some knowledge, but to praise other people in such a low position, this. False. This is smart. Quote. In the college cafeteria, the freshmen discussed the video with Luning with their mobile phones, which was very intense. As exchange students, Qin Zhanfang, Xia Liu and the others muttered quietly, not knowing what they were discussing. Luning stayed behind closed doors. This has been going on for a week. The beast horde lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and now the border town has almost finished, which indicates that the retreat of the beast horde has come to a perfect end. However, the real reason for the outbreak of the beast horde has not been made public, and the sudden appearance of space cracks is being investigated urgently. During this period, Luning signed 7 times. Total magic power plus 32,000, physique plus 50, plus a thunder escape thunder avatar and broken way 11 lightning bolt skills. Average check-in, there are improvements, but not much. The thunder clone is not a multiple shadow clone, but its strength is also worth looking forward to, and it has a clone skill, which also has unexpected effects in some aspects. In addition, it is impossible to ask for the contents of the storage magic props of Kuheng and others. The Academy compensated for this by giving Luning a one-off 50 million yang coins, as well as 1,000 credits and contribution degrees. The credits and contribution are his rewards for protecting Kai Ci's 5 college students. Luning was very satisfied with this. With credits and contribution points, he has the authority to directly purchase high-level lightning-type materials that are not sold in the outside market on the Academy platform. Even though he was told that the ambush involved the Outlaw Guild, the Prisoner Dragon Guild, he didn't care. The Prisoner Dragon Guild is a dark guild that is wanted by the 3 empires. Every year, there are crackdowns, but the effect is mediocre. This is because the mages in the Prisoner Dragon Guild are either heretics strictly prohibited by the Empire, or they are desperados, and they cannot get to the bottom of it. There is only one thing that puzzles Luning. That is, the Academy did not follow his fame this time and position him as a quasi-sequence student. This day, Luning was called over by Vice President Yun Jianming. When he arrived at the Vice President's office, Luning realized that he was not the only one who was called. Apart from him, the 4 quasi-sequence students were all there, as well as talented freshmen from the second echelon of the academy like Yang Yan. Counting him, the number was exactly 20. What's going on? Luning found Yang Yan, who had acquaintance with her, and asked her. Yang Yan pursed her lips and replied, "It's about the magical secret realm of the Ruins continent. The Academy will organize people to go to the secret realm, and it will also join forces with the Divine Weapon Academy of the Huang Empire." Magic secret realm. Luning couldn't help being startled, and a strong interest surged in his heart. The door of the Vice President's office was slowly pushed open. The Dean's secretary is a middle-aged man with a gentle temperament. After he came out, his eyes fell on Gong Li, and he said with a smile, "Student Gong, Dean Yun wants to talk to you first." 15 years old, the handsome Gong Li nodded, and then walked into the Vice President's office. It seems that Dean Yun doesn't plan to let younger brother Gong participate in the magic secret realm entourage. Among the 4 quasi-sequence students, Xiao Xiao, the big beauty with the demeanor of Yuji, laughed softly at this moment. Everyone is not surprised. The son of element talent is too rogue in practicing elemental magic. As long as Gong Li doesn't die halfway, and his cultivation of immortality is a dead end, then basically he will be a 9th level great magister. This is also the reason why the talent of the Son of Elements is known as 1 in a billion. As for the performance of combat power, it depends on one's own talent, but with this magical talent, it is impossible to be so weak. From this point, it can also be seen from the side that there should be certain dangers in the magic secret realm. Quote. Since there is danger, why do you have to let the new students go? Luning asked Xiao Kai, a classmate next to him. Before Xiao Kai could reply, Xiao Xiao took the initiative to interject. The magical secret realms in the Ruins continent are also different. The extremely rare ones are natural secret realms, and there are no entry restrictions. But some people think that the magical secret realms created criteria for restricting access, or age restrictions or boundaries. Luning was stunned. So that's how it is. Xiao Xiao stretched out her finger and lightly touched her lower lip, this action, a bit off the mark. This girl with the demeanor of a royal sister has an extremely charming side invisibly. She went on to say, Student Lu seems to have just come into contact with magic. Such things should be common sense. Have you ever lost your memory? Hearing this, Luning couldn't help frowning. This Xiao Xiao was playing tricks on him. Yes, recently, he has become extremely popular on the internet, coupled with his performance during the Beast Tide. I am afraid that many people are already secretly interested in him. Apart from talent and potential, the quasi-sequence students of the Academy are basically innocent, and they are trained as the future high-level students of the Academy. However, Lu Ning's sudden emergence was too sudden. It was as if a person against the sky had been born out of nowhere, but the background of his identity that made him appear innocent did not seem to be the case. The college is very cautious. If nothing else, the Academy should secretly investigate Lu Ning's past, and only after confirming that there are no problems at all, will he be promoted to a quasi-sequence student, eligible to participate in the sequence magic competition. Lu Ning didn't reply, but just took a deep look at Xiao Xiao. I'm Shang Hang, do you have a chance to learn from each other? However, the conversation started here, and Shang Hang, another Tianzhao, took the initiative to say hello to Lu Ning. Shang Hang is a master of both elemental magic and body training magic, and both of them have good attainments. He also watched the video on the internet, marveling at the subtle combination of Lu Ning's lightning magic and body training magic, so he developed a friendship. Please be sure to let me watch from the sidelines. Tianzhao Yu Xiaobai also joined in with a smile. Ever since, Lu Ning took advantage of the opportunity to chat with the three Tianzhao. Others were very savvy and didn't join in rashly. At the same time, judging from the performance of the three Tianzhao, they are also convinced that Lu Ning is indeed the talent of Tianzhao. Not long after, Gong Li walked out of the office, nodded with everyone and left on his own. Come in. The voice of Vice President Yun Jianming sounded in the office. People walked in and took a look. In addition to the Vice President, Yin Tongchen, the Vice President of the Shenbing Academy, and 20 freshmen from the Shenbing Academy this year. Qin Zhanfang and the other 5 were also included, and the injury on Zhou Lin's shoulder seemed to have been healed. But he seemed to be really overshadowed by Lu Ning. When Lu Ning looked at him, he deliberately avoided his eyes. On the contrary, Qin Zhanfang, who was also abused, waved to Lu Ning with a smile on his face. Although Qin Zhanfang's personality is not pleasing, such people are often more able to withstand blows. This year, Shenbing Academy only has 3 special students of Tianzhao level, 2 men and 1 woman. After being introduced by Dean Yun, Lu Ning also had a little understanding of the 3 Tianzhao from the Huang Empire. A person with firm eyes and a masculine face, named Yang Shiqi, wears a golden wrist guard on each wrist. The other has eyebrows like distant mountains, narrow and long eyes, and a slightly feminine temperament. His name is Du Zixuan, and his hands are painted with purple nail polish, which looks a bit nondescript. The last one, named Mu Feiwei, is also a young and charming beautiful girl, not as tall as Xiao Xiao, but with a dignified and bright temperament, giving people the impression of a noble daughter with impeccable etiquette and appearance. Dean Yun said at this moment, the itinerary to go to the magical secret realm of the Ruins continent has been fixed. In 3 days' time, if any of you are unwilling to go, you can withdraw and let others make up for it. Everyone didn't reply, it was the default. That's how it is, Xiao Xiao, you have an exquisite mind, so let's take the students of Shenbing Academy to get to know each other first. After that, you will be in a competitive relationship, but also a cooperative relationship. Yes, Dean. Xiao Xiao smiled sweetly, and then called the students of Shenbing Academy to leave the office. Lu Ning, please stay here. Just as Lu Ning was about to leave, Dean Yun's words rang in his ears. He looked back, and found that 2 big men, Yun Jianming and Yin Tongchen, were watching him. Half an hour later, Lu Ning walked out of the office with a strange expression. He was called to stop just now, but he was checked by a magic item to check his mental state to see if there were any negative states such as being parasitized or controlled by the mind. At the same time, it was confirmed that Luning did not have any negative feelings towards Tianan College subjectively. It seems that the quasi-sequence students of the Academy not only represent the arrogance of heaven, but the Academy is very cautious in this regard, afraid that I will be an undercover agent of other forces. Or have I suffered a disadvantage before, so I have deeper preparations? Luning did not feel uncomfortable with Dean Yun's inspection. If he stood in the same position as Yun Jianming, he would definitely have this consideration. Passing the inspection is of course a good thing for Luning, which shows that Tianan College really intends to promote him to a quasi-sequence student. With this in mind, Luning came to the reception hall of the college. He found it very lively here. The people from my own academy and the Shenbing Academy did not confront each other, but seemed to be mingling together. Plus, they're all huddled together at the moment. Taking a closer look, I found Xiao Xiao, the beauty of Yujia, was sitting with her hands in front of a magic crystal ball, circling around in the void, as if she was a divination stick. Your Tianan College is full of talents. I like this place very much. Miss Xiao's divination magic is very accurate. Qin Zhanfang came over familiarly and said to Luning. How accurate? Luning asked. Qin Zhanfang scratched his head in embarrassment, and said. I asked her to divination for my future partner. Although she didn't confirm who it was, she told me that the other party was dozens of years older than me, and that liking older people has always been the deepest secret in my heart. I didn't expect to be she dug it out all at once, which made me very ashamed. Luning looked at Qin Zhanfang in surprise. Find out that this kid is not shy, and even a little proud. Yang Yan, have you divination yet? Luning became interested and asked Yang Yan next to him. Yang Yan shook her head and said she didn't believe it. What you said was a bit vague. I asked you to divination about the good and bad luck of this secret realm party. You told me that there was no divination result. A student of the Shenbing Academy who was being divined said something dissatisfied at this moment. Divination is like this. If there is a result every time, wouldn't I be like a god? Xiao Xiao spread her hands, and a trace of displeasure flashed across the pupils that looked like reincarnation eyes. Xiao Xiao is good at special magic and spiritual magic. Although divination magic is also special magic, it is not something that ordinary people can master. It is also recently that Xiao Xiao has only come into contact with divination magic, and some vague results can be accounted for. So, she was experimenting with this group of talented geniuses in front of her. Look at mine. Luning took the initiative to gather the excitement. Xiao Xiao's eyes suddenly brightened. Okay, what aspect of divination does student Lu want? Luning paused, then replied, life. Ha 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 ha. As soon as he said this, everyone was amused. The other Tianzhao are just watching for fun. It is impossible for Xiao Xiao to make a fortune telling. But seeing that Luning took the initiative to get involved, he couldn't help but pay more attention. Xiao Xiao was not surprised by Luning's answer. Life and death, the future, achievements, marriage, etc., people mostly divination these things. She continued. You put your hand on the crystal ball. Luning stretched out his right hand. According to the magic crystal ball, he had no other senses except for a cold touch. He looked at the crystal ball and found that there was a vast and bright pattern like a nebula inside, which attracted people's eyes involuntarily. Luning kept watching, but the crystal ball remained unchanged. But in Xiao Xiao's eyes, the magic crystal ball has already responded. She saw a bunch of electric arcs, and she thought it represented Luning, and beside the arcs, there were a lot of red lines around them. Your luck is very strong. After a while, Xiao Xiao came up with an answer. Luning, how does she know that I have fantasized about harem? But, I let you test how long I can live, and you test my marriage. But he withdrew his right hand a little bit, and said, with all due respect, everyone here, I don't think there will be a relationship with the opposite gender. Among the 40 people present, they were either Tianzhao or geniuses at the key student level. Even if it is an ugly appearance, or even a slightly flawed personality, with such an identity label, there will be no lack of pursuit of the opposite gender. Then what are the specific peach blossom luck? Qin Zhanfang asked along with the excitement. Xiao Xiao shook her head. Naturally she couldn't tell the specifics. Yang Yan was also somewhat indifferent to the result of the divination. Luning will never lack the pursuit of the opposite gender, and even now, some people in her circle of girlfriends have inquired whether Luning has a lover, and have said that they want to pursue Luning and so on. At this time, a classmate in the crowd suddenly interjected. It doesn't matter, we boys are not like your girls who struggle to choose male 1 or male 2, we are female 1 to female 999. Ha ha ha. Yeah, not to mention that Luning is still a body refining mage, his body can withstand it. As soon as these words came out, everyone laughed, including Luning. The corner of his mouth is smiling. Not to mention the hunger and thirst of all comers, if the opposite gender who likes me is mostly excellent, then I really want them all. Xiao Xiao shook her head and said, this is the troublesome part, your luck is strong, which means that the one who likes you is not the kind of easygoing girl who falls in love with you because of your appearance and talent. In other words, those who like you are probably the kind of girls with high spirits, but they won't be willing to share you with other girls. Boring. What I asked you to measure is lifespan. Xiao Xiao replied, divinating how to reduce lifespan is also the scope of life divination. Luning was thoughtful when he heard this. Will life be shortened if there are too many women? Will it? I don't know, I'm dying of laughter, I have no experience in this area at all. The same was true for the crowd watching the excitement, as if they had brought themselves into Luning. And at this time, Yang Yan suddenly said coldly, I heard that spiritual magicians can plant spiritual seeds in people invisibly. Can student Xiao Xiao do this? Look, isn't this coming? When Xiao Xiao heard this, a trace of displeasure flashed in her eyes, but the corners of her mouth still curved slightly, and she said something to Yang Yan. Yang Yan blushed when she said this, and when she saw Luning looking at her, her face became even more embarrassing. A girl like Yang Yan with a straightforward personality, how can she be a match for a woman like Xiao Xiao with her mouth skills? But her words caused a sense of horror in the hearts of others. Mind seed. It is a kind of buried psychological suggestion, which usually does not show up, but once it breaks out at a critical moment, it is simply a fatal thing. Maid. Bad girl. Some people have already begun to curse inwardly, thinking that Xiao Xiao is most likely doing such a trick by means of divination. Especially the students of Shenbing Academy, the more they think about it, the more they feel that this may be true. Of course, Yang Yan just wanted to remind Luning, and never thought about the consequences of saying this. Do you want to continue reading? Xiao Xiao asked Luning again. No, Luning shook his head. So far, Xiao Xiao's divination class is over. The banquet for the Divine Weapon Academy is still going on and will last for 3 days. Luning is just like everyone else, making friends and chatting with others. Luning's character is not withdrawn. He will not refuse to make friends, even if it is Qin Zhanfeng who was abused by him before. If the other party wants to make friends with him, he will gladly accept it. After all, many friends have many paths. It is worth mentioning that, during the conversation, Yang Yan seemed to deliberately avoid Luning because of Xiao Xiao's words just now, and she was really shy. Her performance made Luning feel that Yang Yan was inexplicably cute. In a blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Today is the day to go to the Ruins continent. The 3 check-ins in the past 3 days gave Luning a great surprise. 2 of them are the total amount of magic power, which made his total magic power breakthrough to 250,000, but his realm is still at the stage of a 5th order mage. And the last sign-in. It was actually a special kind of lightning power. It's the god of evil spirits. From Li Feiyu's Legend of Cultivating Immortals, a novel about cultivating immortals. The god of evil resisting thunder is conceived from the 10,000 years heavenly thunder bamboo. Not to mention powerful, it has a strong restraint against evil ways. Converted to this world, it should be extremely restrained against some dark magic. This gave Luning another power to ward off evil in addition to the power of thunder from Sikong. The evil god thunder can be used as one's whole card. It is a special power of lightning, you can use it to use any ability moves. There's nothing more satisfying than multiple whole cards. In addition, Luning has a deposit of more than 40 million yuan. If he wants to buy high-level lightning-type materials, this money is not enough. He spent 10 million to buy some low-level lightning-type materials, and found that the improvement effect was negligible, so he saved them as restoration items. At this very moment, inside the magic teleportation array hall of Tian'an College, the team, led by 2 9th-rank bosses, Yun Jianming and Yin Tongchen, had to take the teleportation array to a certain coordinate position first. Then start from this location and pass through the space crack to reach the world of the relic continent. Then follow the established route and head all the way to the location of the secret realm. A group of people. Let's go. Start the teleportation array. Following Dean Yun's order, a total of 40 talented freshmen from Tianan College and Shenbing College left Tianan City together with the deans of each school in the teleportation array. The familiar teleportation feeling floods my heart. After a while, the scene before Luning's eyes changed. It was an underground room. I think this is an underground base outside of the human city. The underground base here is not an absolutely secret place. It was established more than 100 years ago, and there is a stable space crack nearby, which can lead directly to the world of the relic continent. Walking out of the underground room, you can also see some busy official mages in the underground base. Dean Yun is currently talking with a person in charge of the underground base. After the dean is done, everyone left the underground base and came to the ground. At this time, Dean Yun took out a magic item from the storage of magic items. It looked like a model boat, but after being injected with magic power by Dean Yun, it rose directly against the wind, and instantly turned into a huge floating boat with the size of 100 feet. In Luning's view, this is simply a giant ship in the sky. Oh, a 7th-tier magical battleship. Qin Zhanfang, who was standing beside Luning, whistled. The power source of this magic power battleship is the magic heart of a high-level mage, or the crystallization of the magic core of a high-level monster. From the 6th level to the 7th level, that is, from the middle-level mage to the high-level magister stage, the most important thing is to gather the heart of magic. In layman's terms, it is to turn the liquid magic power in the body into a solid state. But it is not stored in the abdomen, but in the heart. Yes, becoming a high-level magister means that the heart will crystallize and become magical, and it will truly make a jump in the level of life. Go up. With a greeting from Dean Yun, Luning and other talented freshmen entered the magic power battleship one by one. The interior space of the battleship is very large, more than enough to accommodate thousands of people. In addition, the battleship itself is equipped with various magic circles, including but not limited to attack, protection, hiding and so on. There is a 9th-level Great Magister sitting in the town, and the protective magic circle does not need to be turned on. It only needs to turn on the magic circle with hidden functions to avoid powerful biological attacks in the ruins continent. Relying on the magic power battleship, the group of people passed through the space crack very smoothly, soared directly into the sky of the ruined continent world, and set off towards the predetermined destination. The top speed of a Tier 7 battleship can reach 12 times the speed of sound. Single quote. In the cabin, Luning learned a lot about this extremely expensive warship from the conversation with Qin Zhanfang. The only fly in the ointment is that, staying in the cabin, you can't see the scenery of the ruined continent outside. The current battleship is 10 times the speed of sound. But even so, it took a whole day and night to reach the destination, which shows the vastness of this ruined continent. Just based on Luning's poor scientific knowledge, the gravity and time of the relic continent world seem to be equal to that of the blue star world. Is this a bit inconsistent with the common sense of astronomy? The larger the planet, the higher the gravity should not be, and the time of day is far longer than 24 hours. Isn't it a planet? Luning thought wildly. After a while, he rolled his eyes to himself in his mind. Am I looking for scientific truth in the extraordinary world, right? It's over for fun, why think so much? Destination has been reached. Everyone walked out of the cabin one by one under the direction of Dean Yun. Looking down from a high altitude, there are continuous towering mountains below, with no end in sight, and each mountain is surprisingly huge. What a strong magical power of heaven and earth. Among the new geniuses, some came to the ruins continent for the first time, and at this moment they were feeling the richness of magic power in this world. Luning looked up. It was daytime right now, and there was really a sun hanging in the sky, and even the figure of the moon could be seen. He suddenly remembered the legend about Blue Star that Kai Si told him. It is said that the Blue Star is a world created by a certain god magician. Then the template for creation comes from the world of the relic continent. He is thinking. The battleship sank steadily and finally landed on the ground. This is a valley, surrounded by obvious traces of magic. In the valley, there is a group of people who have been waiting for a long time. There are two batches of this group, from Tianan College and Shenbing College. There is no doubt that the magical secret realm here was discovered by the two colleges together, so the two colleges will jointly enter it. After all, discovering at the same time means that they cannot be monopolized. Is this the entrance to the magic secret realm? It does look like a secret realm thought to be made, and it is restricted to those below the 7th level magister to enter. Our Tianan Academy and Shenbing Academy have Tianzhao leading the team this time, so the risk factor is judged to be within the controllable range, otherwise we will find seniors and sisters to come. Sure enough, it's right to join a powerful force like the Academy, and only they can create such opportunities for us. Quote. The freshmen came to the entrance of the magic secret realm and chatted in a hurry. The entrance to the magical secret realm in front of me does not show any mysterious color, but it is a bit simple. It was a simple wooden door. It's just that there are many magic characters branded around the wooden door, which should be an ancient magic circle. Forcibly breaking in, there should be more harm than good. This is the language of the ancient gods. The content of the slogan is to inform the latecomers that entering this place must be below the 7th level. Dean Yun came over, pointed to a slogan on the wooden door and said. Beyond that, there is no further explanation. Obviously, this kind of man-made secret place with slogans is not the first time humans have discovered it, and they have already experienced it. There may be dangers inside, but clearly restricting the level often means that it will probably be a trial for latecomers. The sequence magic of some colleges is obtained from similar secret realms of inheritance trials, but those secret realms are not eligible for middle and low-level mages to enter. Go in. Brother Yin, the vice president of the Shenbing Academy who was traveling with him, spoke at this time. Then I saw Tianzhao of Shenbing Academy, Yang Shiqi, who was wearing golden wristbands, pressed his hands on the wooden door and slowly pushed it up. The wooden door was pushed open, revealing a door that resembled a crack in space. Stepping into this door, you can enter the magical secret realm. Yang Shiqi greeted and led everyone from the Shenbing Academy into the secret realm one after another. Luning, let's take a step first. Qin Zhanfeng waved from Luning, and also sank into the space door together. Naturally, Tianan College followed closely behind. There is no strong feeling at all when passing through the door of the space, but there is a feeling that the whole body has been censored, and then the scene in front of me changes and enters the secret realm. This secret realm is the secret realm of Tiansaidibao. Get rich. Surprised voices came from his companions. In front of him was a verdant dense forest, and the incomparably rich power of the wood element filled the secret world, even better than the elemental training room of the academy. Most importantly, this place is full of treasures of heaven, material and earth, which dazzles the viewers. With just one glance, Luning can see dozens of obviously extraordinary magical plants. What are you still doing? Take it. Shanghang let out a deep drink, urging the freshmen of his college to pick the natural materials and treasures here. The people from the Shenbing Academy have already started stuffing the storage magic items, and there is no danger in the picking process. If you are still in a daze, all the good things will be taken away. Everyone at Tianan College immediately started to act. And Shanghang reminded again, don't spread too much. You must ensure that you are in the sight of others. There are so many treasures of heaven and earth in this secret realm. Not to mention there are people from the Shenbing Academy. Even if there are no people, they may fight because of the treasures. Luning has started picking magic plants. His magic knowledge is much sparser than others, so as long as he thinks it has magic power, he will take it off at once. And some magical vegetation requires special transplanting methods, so it will naturally be wasted. However, there are too many magical vegetation in the secret territory here, and it doesn't hurt to waste some of them. Is this the secret realm? I didn't expect that the first time I entered the secret trial, it would be like this. These magical vegetation are very old. Even if some are not high level, they can still be sold at a relatively expensive price. Anyway, this time I made a lot of money. I have made a lot of money, but seeing that the Academy of Divine Weapons has also made a lot of money, I feel uncomfortable. Have you noticed that almost all the good things here are of wood attribute? Quote. The people rejoiced greatly. This is a secret realm that can only be entered by the Academy, so it is reasonable to give the Academy 40% of the income after it is released. But no one thinks that the Academy is pulling their wool. Because it was the Academy that gave them the opportunity to train them as students, if the Academy let members of the Tianan Guild come over, the Academy would only get more. At the same time, on Yang Yan's side, her remnant soul of the Holy Spirit can be said to be an antique, and she reminded at this time, such a secret realm is rare, and there is nothing unusual so far. It seems that the Academy's judgment on this secret realm has gone awry. Yang Yan nodded. She looked around. The size of the entire secret world was limited, only about 20 square kilometers. In a secret realm of this level, it is impossible to say that there are any big monsters. Luning. While looking around, Yang Yan found that Luning not far away stuffed a magical plant that he had just picked into his mouth. Well, this scene made Yang Yan a little stunned. Luning is eating these things raw. She suddenly remembered that the remnant soul of the Holy Spirit told him that Luning might have the blood of the dragon. Isn't Luning human? Yang Mizi's eyes suddenly became sharp. Looking at Luning again, he spit out his mouth. He is specialized in lightning, so he has extremely limited ability to absorb the power of elements from other systems. The power of the wood element contained in the magic vegetation cannot be forcibly absorbed by him, nor can it be used as a means of recovery to supplement the magic power. Is it because the elements have mutual generation and mutual restraint, and the thunder element and the wood element do not match? Luning's idea is very simple. If he eats the magical vegetation of these wood elements to improve his strength, then he will not finish eating, he will eat part of it first, and the remaining 40% will be handed over to the Academy to collect part of the Academy's wool. Time passed minute by minute. What do you want to do? Suddenly there was a scolding sound not far away. Luning turned his head and found that a freshman from his own academy had a conflict with someone from the Shenbing Academy. The reason is naturally the attribution of a magical vegetation. Judging by the tit-for-tat appearance of those two people, it seemed that they could fight at any time. Okay, we are all brothers, give me Qin Jianfang a face, and give me this magic plant. Qin Jianfang went up, and under the astonished eyes of the two, he picked off the magic vegetation. Put it back. The one from Tianan College naturally quit, his eyes were about to spit fire. The other freshman of Tianan College gradually looked towards this side with unkind eyes. Oops, Qin Jianfang laughed strangely, and directly destroyed the magic vegetation in his hand. That's it. He raised the broken vegetation in his hand. Snort. Seeing this, the freshman from Tianan College could only snort again. This episode reminds both colleges. Therefore, Shanghang and Yang Shiqi decided to divide the search area of the secret world into two, so that the two sides would not interfere with each other, so as to avoid conflicts. I don't know what Shanghang is afraid of. This is obviously a compromise. We have 4 geniuses here. Say it, Luning. A cub he didn't know next to Luning said bitterly after dividing the search area. Yes, but there is nothing wrong with putting peace first. Luning was taken aback for a moment, and then said a word. Turning around, I continued to search for treasures of heaven and earth. He is currently gaining a lot. There are a total of 425 Tier 1 to 3 magical plants. For the 4th to 6th stage, there are 53 plants. There is even a plant that is suspected to be of the 7th order. As for the higher order, it has not been found yet. If it is really the 7th rank, then the market price of a single plant will at least exceed 100 million. Outside the secret, Yun Jianming and Yin Tongchen waited patiently. For a behemoth like the Academy, the experience of searching and exploring secret places in the relic continent is extremely rich. The secret realm that restricts the entry of the realm is probably a man-made secret realm with a trial nature, which is just right for cultivating the younger generation under the command. Another point, the magic fluctuations in the secret realm here are not strong, indicating that the secret realm world inside should be a relatively small area. Based on the above factors, the two colleges decided to use this secret realm as a test for the talented freshmen of their respective colleges. However, the secret realm here is not simple. At a place hundreds of kilometers away from the two big brothers, the ground suddenly raised, and then a monster that looked like a pangolin poked its head out of it. A palm with a broken little finger pressed on the little head of the monster and rubbed it. The latter showed an anthropomorphic expression and seemed to enjoy it very much. It starts over there. The owner of the palm spoke at this moment. His voice was low and hoarse. It seems that only our side is left. His companion was completely covered in a black robe, but the voice was a woman, and when he looked back, he saw a team of 100 people standing there. Most of them are young faces, but there are also some middle-aged faces, all of whom are below the 7th rank without exception. Have you memorized the map? Remember clearly. Very well, all the income in the secret realm inside belongs to you personally, but the only thing that needs to be handed over to me is to go in. Yes, the 100 people turned around immediately, looked at a mountain lake directly in front of them, and then jumped into it one by one. Send 85th level and 26th level mages at once, and it's best to have what you said. The female companion spoke to the man with the severed finger in a slightly warning tone. The man with the severed finger couldn't help but chuckled. Don't worry, I'm not interested in sequence magic, it belongs to you. The implication is, that is, in the secret realm they sent people into, there is an inheritance of sequential magic. In the secret realm of wood, the magical vegetation I found here has been picked. Me too. It seems that we have almost raided here. The Shenbing Academy seems to have stopped. Originally only about 20 square kilometers in area, the treasures of heaven, materials and earth, in the territory of the secret of wood were looted in less than 10 hours. Everything of value was basically taken away. The quality of the soil here is good, but there are no extra storage magic items to hold the soil. So, now is the time to get out. People from both colleges gathered together shortly after and mentioned this aspect. The entrance to the secret realm is two-way, just go back the same way. Luning took a look. It was found that whether it was Tianan College or Shenbing College, these genius boys seemed to be holding their breath. After thinking for a while, he realized that they came to the secret realm with the intention of doing a lot of work, but they ended up working as plant pickers. Of course, they were a little dissatisfied. Both colleges are the top freshmen this year. Like Kaisi and Helin before, none of them ranked in the top 20 in this year's unified examination, so they didn't have the quota to come here. They are all top freshmen this year, so of course they are very confident in their abilities. Luning also dealt with Yang Yan among them. As for Xiao Kai, it was just a conversation before. I don't think you need to be so anxious. The wood-type magic power here is so strong, maybe there are wood-type crystals deep in the ground. At this time, a freshman from Shenbing Academy said something loudly. Very positive. Qin Zhanfang glanced at the freshman, and remembered that his name was Cheng Hong. Possible. That's right. After all, the magic power here is even stronger than the elemental training room in our academy. Then, excavate now. Cheng Hong's words were not aimless, and they were unanimously approved by others. I dug it just now, but I didn't find it. But someone said something later. It is impossible to have only one person who can think of this. Maybe you didn't dig deep enough. There are no special magical creatures in the secret realm. This is very different from the magical secret realm I understand, so, why are you in such a hurry to get out? Since it is a man-made secret realm, there may also be a so-called hidden mechanism. Listening to the discussion of the people next to me, Shang Heng and Yang Shiqi glanced at each other. As the leaders of the freshmen of the two colleges, the two went to the side to discuss in detail. After a while, the two had a decision. Shang Heng said to the crowd, then let both parties send one person out to inform their respective vice presidents of the situation here, and see what the two seniors think. Luning nodded. This is an appropriate way. However, Cheng Hong had a novel idea at this time, and said, when you come in together, and it should be the same when you come out. Don't forget, this is a man-made secret realm. If there is a special mechanism, for example, once someone goes out from the secret realm, then the entrance and exit of the secret realm may be closed. The academies on both sides didn't send people in to explore the secret realm in advance. It should be out of such considerations. After all, some secret realms do have only one chance to explore. But what he said makes sense. This made Shang Heng and Yang Shiqi hesitate. Xiao Xiao, Yuji's beautiful girl, has been silent all the time, but at this moment, she secretly glanced at Cheng Hong, and then her expression fell into thought. Student Luning, what do you think? The beautiful girl suddenly turned her eyes and looked at Luning, who was watching the fun. Student Xiao Xiao, what do you think? Luning asked back like a repeater. Xiao Xiao rolled her eyes and didn't continue talking. Time goes by little by little. Finally, Shangheng and Yang Shiqi seemed to have made up their minds. Then, just as Yang Shiqi was about to speak, a sudden change occurred. However, the entire secret realm suddenly shook, as if triggered by an earthquake. At the very center of the secret realm, a green beam of light burst out from the ground, rushing to the secret realm world in one fell swoop. At the same time as the light beam appeared, the power of the wood element in the entire secret territory was sucked away by the turbulent waves. Look, I told you there's something in the ground. Chang Hong shouted in surprise. Shut up, Qin Zhanfang yelled at the other party. Because the entrance and exit of the secret realm just closed. Of course, the secret world can be broken, but it is absolutely impossible for the freshman like Luning to be able to do it. At the same time that there was a change in the secret place of wood. The outside world is equally exciting. In the hundreds of thousands of mountains, there were 5 beams of light rushing up to the sky one after another. The 5 beams of light represent the power of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, and the 5 elements. The 5 beams of light gradually converged in one place. The 2 bosses Yun Jianming and Yin Tongchen looked at each other at this moment, and they both saw the great shock in each other's eyes. This is the 5 elements, magic circle. With Yun Jianming's magical attainments, he couldn't see what kind of magic formation was triggered. 5 elements converge. Didn't you say it was the formation of Shuimu Liangyi? Duan Tianliu. What is going on here? On the side of the man with the severed finger, the woman who was completely covered under the black robe suddenly questioned the former with an extremely shrill voice. If it's just the formation of Shuimu Liangyi, how can it be worthy of the sequential magic inheritance of the ancient powerhouse, 5 elements Maharaja? The man with the severed finger sneered, showing a little disdain in his tone. The black-robed woman forcibly calmed down, and then asked in a cold tone. The meaning of the 5 elements, that is to say, there are 5 parties who want to enter the place of inheritance. Besides us, you have found other people. Of course, the 5 elements Maharaja was not a human being. Without his race, the 5 elements array would not have been possible. Then you should tell me in advance. Are you qualified? The man with the severed finger looked at the woman in black. The black-robed woman suffocated immediately. She immediately said bitterly, Duan Tianliu. This matter can't just be left alone. After all, with a lift of her right hand, the black-robed woman disappeared in place, and she wanted to inform the forces behind her of the changes. Duan Tianliu ignored the woman in black robe, his eyes fell high in the sky. The beams of light of the 5 elements had already converged, and immediately the sky shook, and the sky seemed to be split open, vast and magnificent, spreading thousands of kilometers away from Fang Yuan and Luning and others in the secret realm. At the moment when the 5 elements meet, they are forcibly wrapped by a powerful teleportation force, and they are teleported out of the wood secret realm. Swish swish swish. In the dark black stone hall, one after another teleportation lights suddenly appeared, revealing one figure after another. There are hundreds of them. Freshmen from the dual colleges such as Luning were also among them. At this time, in this quaint hall, there was a deathly silence. Because besides Luning and the hundreds of human mages from the water secret realm, the others are all alien races on the ruins continent, and there are more than one species. The demon family, the flying feather family and the pyroxene family. This seems to have turned into a small interracial meeting and exchange meeting. Silence, quiet, astonishment, puzzlement, fear, tension. 1,000 pairs of eyes look at each other. Although they may not understand the language, Luning could clearly see the puzzled look in the eyes of the foreigner. This shows that they don't know that they and others will appear here. From this, it can be guessed that this does not seem to be a game planned by a foreign race. At this very moment, the Blackstone Hall is divided into 5 camps. One is Luning and the others, a total of 40 people, the smallest number. The second is the human camp on the other side. There are 100 of them, and they clearly know the existence of the freshmen in the academy. The third is the demon clan from the ruins continent, they have about 60 people. The men of the demon tribe are extremely ugly, even more ferocious than Ku Heng, who cast the transformation magic before, and are extremely tall, with a minimum of 3 meters. But the women look like the succubus in Lifen, with a charming and beautiful face, and a wonderful figure almost like a devil, generally between 1.7 and 1.8 meters in height. The rest are the Pyroxene clan and the Flying Feather clan. These two races were classified as subhuman races in the Blue Star human race division of the Ruins continent. This is because they have a very similar appearance and body shape to humans. The birds and beasts of the Feiyu tribe have a human body, except for a pair of wings on the back. The rest of the head is almost the same as a human being, and there are as many as 100 of them. In Luning's view, the Pyroxene group is like the elves in the Western fantasy theme, with a blue spar the size of a fingernail inlaid on their foreheads, and their number is about 80. Humanity. Among the demon clan, a strong male demon standing at the front looked at the humans in the hall, and his eyes flashed fiercely. He shouted loudly, "Kill! Kill! Kill it! Kill it!" The group of demons behind him also shouted ferociously. Although Luning couldn't understand the devil's language, it can be seen that they can guess the general appearance. And it is precisely because of the screams of the demon clan. As a result, the balance in the hall was maintained just now, and a string that was tense was completely broken. Suddenly, everyone has shot. In an instant, this wide black stone hall is full of colorful magic colors. Boom boom boom. Bang bang bang. Violent magic attacks mixed together, making the scene completely chaotic. In just a moment of effort, dozens of people died unexpectedly. Close together. First cast defensive magic to protect yourself. Yang Shichi from Shenbing Academy yelled loudly, but no one paid any attention at the moment. There is no time for that. There are too many magic attacks. Even if you take a little time to move, you may die instantly in this intensive frequency of indiscriminate magic bombing. In addition, the 40 of them are basically at the 4th level. Although there are no restrictions on magic weapons and magic props here, there are probably only a few in Luning and other 5 geniuses who can really leapfrog. However, apart from them, there is no shortage of 6th order mages in other camps. At this time, Luning didn't panic too much. The prohibition of the 7th order magister from entering the secret realm is the greatest protection for him. Taking Ku Heng, the 6th level mage killed by him before, as the unit of measurement for combat power. As long as the 6th order mages who exceeded an even number at one time did not set fire to him, then his life would not be in danger. But the idea of fishing in troubled waters is naive. In the face of this kind of super melee, if you don't make a move, you will be consumed and die. Flash. Thunder's Breath 1 Shape Thunderbolt Flash 6 Links. The 5th order magic weapon Lei Hangdao has been grasped by Luning. He took a deep breath, and his whole body suddenly turned into a golden aurora, which was easy to move 6 times in a row among the chaotic crowd. Pooh, pooh, pooh. Everyone present will immediately cast defensive magic, or prop up a magic shield for themselves. But Luning's temporary goal is the 5th order mage. A 5th order character can't stop him at all. The heads of 6 aliens were instantly beheaded by Luning. Of course, their magic storage props were also touched by Luning's small hand and taken away. What a quick move. During the melee, Yuji Miniu inadvertently noticed Luning, and a touch of surprise appeared in her beautiful eyes. The instant killing speed of Luning's ultra-high-speed burst is too strong. Luning, I will cooperate with you and fight away first. Xiao Xiao turned her gaze, and the voice actually appeared in Luning's mind directly. The Blackstone Hall is not a closed environment. It's just that everyone was not rational for a while, and fell into a melee, and couldn't get out of it in a short time. But Xiao Xiao, who remained calm, saw the back of the Blackstone Hall, and there were several passages. Luning ignored Xiao Xiao. He continued to cast Thunderbolt, reaping heads in the chaotic environment. But I don't know which cute little brat, who helped him a lot, cast a kind of smoke magic, which made the whole Blackstone Hall even more chaotic. The golden thunder kept beating, becoming the brightest light in the Blackstone Hall. With every flicker, a head falls. In the continuous, despicable sneak attack, Luning found that among the alien races, the magic power cast by the Pyroxene tribe is extremely powerful, but their defense is not as good as that of the Demon tribe and the Feiyu tribe. This made Luning focus on the Pyroxene group for a while. More than 80 members of the Pyroxene family suffered from severe blood mold. The leader of their team here, Aushwali, a fairy-like and agile woman. Looking back now, it was suddenly discovered that there were more than 30 headless corpses in the pyroxene family. Aushwali was so frightened that she immediately yelled, "There's something dirty. Quickly cast defensive magic." Buzz. Suddenly, the magic power surged in the direction where the pyroxene group was located, and then a blue shield rose up. Luning tried it, and found that it was temporarily impossible to break through the magic shield casted by all the members of the pyroxene clan. Humanity. Because of this, Aushwali saw his face. But he soon disappeared into the smoke again. Luning then switched targets. Demon race. Court Death. The leader of the demon clan, or two, glanced suddenly. His tall body was not a bit bloated at the moment, and his speed was as fast as a phantom. He grabbed it with a big hand and directly grabbed the golden arc shadow. It's just that his speed is still a bit short. Luning beheaded a 5th order demon clan under his nose. At this time, Luning tried his best to increase his speed, but sacrificed some attack power. But because of this, even the 6th order powerhouse of the demon race cannot match his speed without prior prediction. Be careful, there is a human being who is very fast. Or two roared, and, like the pyroxene clan, he let the clansmen move closer together. All go, tier 5 weapons are so rubbish. Luning, who retreated into the smoke, glanced at Lei Hangdao. Only killed less than 100 of them, and they were chopped off. Forget it, I can barely continue to use it. Seeing this, Luning turned to stare at the Feiyu clan. Compare speed. The Flying Feather clan is really interesting. Instead of shrinking their formation like the Demon clan and the Pyroxene clan, they even took the initiative to send people to chase Luning. Speed is indeed what the Flying Feathers are best at. They even have a special, speed magic, which increases their already extremely fast speed by several times. Although they couldn't catch up with Luning when he cast Thunderbolt. However, Luning's Thunderbolt can be used up to 8 times at a time, and there will be a pause after the cast. It was this gap that made several 6th order Flying Feathers catch up to him relying on speed magic. Being attacked by Luning may not necessarily mean death. But taking the initiative to get close to Luning is simply to bump into his strongest aspect, melee combat. Luning, even more excited. 3-headed 6th order Flying Feather clan attack. The green light on the back of this bird-headed Flying Feather clan trembles at a speed so fast that the naked eye cannot catch it. They swooped down to Luning from above, and a circular cyan magic circle appeared behind them. Under the blessing of the magic circle, the whole body of the Flying Feathers was covered with a close-fitting magic shield. At the same time, the 3-headed Flying Feathers even condensed a magic spear with their magic power. With both hands tightly held, they stabbed at Luning who was close at hand. Seeing this scene, Luning grinned at the corner of his mouth, and immediately spread his arms out. At the moment when the Feiyu tribe attacked and killed them with a frightening rainbow, Luning's body turned around suddenly, and clamped the powerful magic spears of the 3 Feiyu tribe in the crook of his arms. Playing close, Luning showed a ferocious expression. Thunder Dragon's thunderstorm rage. Suddenly, violent bursts of thunder and lightning condensed in his hands. Immediately afterwards, the thunder and lightning instantly submerged the 3 Flying Feather clan in front of them like a stormy sea. ZZZ. This is Luning's relatively simple discharge attack, which has a large range and a considerable paralysis effect. Rao has magic defense, but the 3 heads of the Flying Feather clan were still broken by their magic defense during the encounter, and their bodies showed signs of paralysis at that moment. The claw of the Thunder Dragon. Look at Luning again. His right hand was bent into a claw, wrapped around Thunderbolt, and Thunderbolt turned into a dragon's claw, and he quickly grabbed it forward. Bang bang bang. 3 explosions sounded at the same time, and the heads of the 3 Flying Feathers were smashed into pieces in the blink of an eye. You guys are better at killing than Brother Chicken. Luning quickly took the storage magic props of the Feiyu tribe into his bag. How can a 6th order foreign race be so easy to kill? It's just that they took the initiative to get close to Luning, and they relied too much on their own magical defenses. Luning couldn't find a suitable opportunity for gathering together like the Demon clan or the Pyroxene clan. Impossible. Yuya, the leader of the Feiyu tribe, was shocked at the moment. From his point of view, the members of his family had already caught up with the human who cast the lightning magic, but they were completely killed within a second. In the chaotic hall, the flying feathers currently had the least number of deaths. This family flies in the sky, relying on super speed. They are often able to avoid other people's magic attacks. Even if it is attacked by some magic, relying on speed, there is enough time to deal with it. Luning. At this time, a roar sounded. Looking along the sound, I saw that the smoke in the hall had gradually dispersed. The golden wristbands on Yang Shichi's hands were extremely bright at the moment, and there was a palm-sized golden magic circle shining brightly on each of his wrists. The magic of Yang Shichi made Luning stay for a while longer. Every time he waved his hands, a golden magic energy ball flew forward and then exploded. Maybe being a magic energy ball has limited power. But the key is that this Tianjiao can continuously and quickly use it. This method of firing cannons continuously in the air has caused an extremely effective firepower suppression effect. This created a great opportunity for their Shenbing Academy, and headed towards the back passage of the Blackstone Hall. And next to Yang Shichi is Shang Hang, the arrogance of his own academy. At this time, Shang Hang was holding a blood-colored spear, blocking the magic in the hall with incomparable bravery, aiming to cover the retreat of the freshmen in the same courtyard. Because of Lu Ning's sneak attack, the attacks of the three alien races eased, which created an excellent opportunity for them. There are a total of 40 people from the two colleges. Although there are only about 20 people left at this moment, they have already gathered together by taking the opportunity. It was Shang Hang who shouted just now. He is reminding Lu Ning that the priority is to protect others first. Lu Ning made an OJBK gesture to Shang Hang. He doesn't need cover, he just needs to continue to sneak up and harass others. It's that human. Listen everyone, get rid of that human first. Kill him. However, the smoke dissipated at this moment, and everyone regained their clear sight, and the three alien races all focused on Lu Ning almost at the same time. Just for a while, the number of aliens from the three parties who died in the hands of Lu Ning is as many as hundreds, and some of them are at the 6th level. Why didn't this make the three parties of alien races fly into a rage? I'll cover you. When Shang Hang saw that Lu Ning was locked by a foreign race, he immediately screamed that something was wrong, so he went to help Lu Ning. Tianjiao is Tianjiao. Even if he is at the 5th level, he still has the confidence to deal with 6th level magic. No, you cover the others to leave this hall first. Lu Ning quickly refused. He's fully functioning on his own. At this time, the ground hall under Lu Ning's feet suddenly became extremely soft, and then the cement-like ground suddenly poured out, binding Lu Ning's feet. He looked down. However, it was the other human camp that took the opportunity to cast binding magic on him. Lu Ning was a little surprised. Just now, the human camp was also competing with other races for magic attacks, which made him subconsciously think that in a short period of time, the same humans naturally formed an alliance with tacit understanding. As a result, I got cheated. Go. Duan Tianliu and the leader of the black-robed woman, Wang Yun, looked at Lu Ning coldly. Let's take advantage of the opportunity that Lu Ning is being targeted by three alien races and leave the hall. Dog thing. But as soon as Wang Yun finished speaking, he heard Lu Ning over there growl extremely furiously. He looked back. However, Lu Ning's whole body was covered with thunder several inches thick, as if his whole body was poured with thunder and lightning water crazily. Boom! A big crater burst out instantly on the ground under Lu Ning's feet. Under this powerful explosion, Lu Ning directly turned into a thunderbolt far exceeding the speed of sound, and rushed towards Wang Yun and others with an unforgivable anger. Thunderbolt. At the moment of charging, Lu Ning directly used Sikong Zhen's ultimate move. He seemed to be dazzled by anger, and broke into Wang Yun's team by himself, and immediately dispersed their camp. Ben Lei Ji. Crazy lightning strike. Lu Ning was like a wild beast, recklessly tilting the power of lightning out of his body. Just for a moment, the position where Wang Yun's team was located was filled with countless thunderbolts. The most difficult thing is nothing more than Lu Ning's lightning chain ejection. Each of Wang Yun's teammates was chained by lightning chains, and the power of lightning bounced back and forth on them, repeatedly injuring them. Although they had a lot of defensive magic, they would be wiped out sooner or later. Kill him first. Wang Yun was furious and startled. In just a short while, this desperate guy made him kill more than a dozen people. So, a shocking scene appeared in the hall. except for those from Tian'an College and Shenbing College. Luning directly pulled everyone's hatred, let them lock Luning firmly, and cast a magic attack. The gifted freshmen of the two colleges were dumbfounded. Kill. As the saying goes, 2 fists are hard to beat with 4 hands. If Luning is in the 6th order realm, then his own defense will be greatly improved, and he will not be afraid of the power of most 6th order magic. But he is only at the 5th level now. The 3 foreign races plus Wang Yun's team now add up to more than 200 people, and the lowest level is the 5th level. On such a scale, all it takes is a round of magical volleys, and even a 7th level magister will be enraged on the spot if he is not careful. Buzz buzz. The brilliance of the magic array lit up in the Blackstone Hall almost at the same time. It was colorful, making it look like the atmosphere lights of a disco. But even though it looks fancy, its power is real. Call out. As a beam of magic light locked onto Luning and shot at it, the magic attacks of other people in the hall completely detonated at this moment. The terrifying power is beyond words to describe. Before everyone could even see clearly, they saw an unprecedented magical burst of brilliance at Luning's location. A shocking deep pit appeared out of thin air on the hard black stone hall floor. Luning. Dot was instantly vaporized by a round of attack by more than 200 mages, without even screaming, and even the corpse disappeared, as if he had been erased from the world. Act recklessly. It's barely a character. The leaders of the 3 alien races looked at each other, which was not surprising. There is no shortage of amazing, talented and gorgeous people among human beings, but this one just now is too irritable, and he doesn't know how to protect himself wisely. If everyone tacitly targets him at the same time, he can't escape the fate of death. Humans can't afford it early. They must have mastered some of the secrets of this place when they appeared here. Join hands first. Not good. Those young humans are leaving. Stop them. The chaotic scene in the hall was stopped because of Luning, and the 3 parties reached an agreement temporarily. At this time, seeing that Xianghang, Yang Shiqi and others were about to leave the Blackstone Hall, they immediately chased after them. Without Luning's sneak attack threat, their formation is naturally no longer densely packed. Luning. Yang Yan stared blankly at the empty pit. Don't waste the opportunity created by Luning. Xianghang roared, and after he was the first to break, the blood-colored spear in his hand slammed on the ground. Xianghang's magic weapon suddenly emitted an extremely hot and dazzling light, covering the entire hall with a heavy layer of blood. Fusion magic, true self formation. Wow! A large amount of blood flowed from Xianghang's tiger's mouth to the ground along the spear. In an instant, the ground covered by the magic range he cast was red. When several 5th order flying feathers chased after them first, they were immediately pierced by countless blood-colored spears gushing out of the ground. And the blood of the Feiyu tribe seemed to strengthen the power of Xianghang's magic. The fusion magic of blood magic and body refining magic. Sure enough, the opponent is a genius mage on the human side. The leader of the demon tribe, or Tu's eyes froze suddenly, but compared to the troubles Luning caused him, he felt that Xianghang was a better solution. After Luning a death, the lobby fell into melee again. The only difference this time is that people from Tian'an College and Shenbing College have already entered the passage behind the hall and left the hall first. Wang Yun was also attacked by aliens. But it couldn't compare with the previous intensity, because someone left the hall, and everyone didn't want the possible benefits in this place to be preempted by others. As a result, everyone's minds changed, and they wanted to enter the passage first. After dozens more died, everyone in the hall entered the passage. The difference is that the joint team of Tian'an Academy and Shenbing Academy is being hunted down because of the number and level advantages of the 3 alien races. Several hours later, looking at the place where he left the mark in front of him, Luning's eyes fluctuated. This is a maze. Luning is not dead. How could he really lose his mind suddenly because of being attacked by Wang Yun and others? Before the 3 6th order flying feathers were dealt with and before the smoke cleared, he had already cast Thunder Dungeon, Thunder Clone. The combat power of the Thunder Clone is not low, except for the dragon-slaying magic that requires the physique of a dragon, which cannot be used. Other moves can be used. Still not many people know him well. If I used Sikong's big move and exploded with all my strength, there is a high probability that Wang Yun and his party of hundreds of people will be killed by Luning in a short time. It's just that Luning will fall into a state of exhaustion, and be easily taken away by the 3 alien races. If I'm tier 6, Luning sighed a little. If he was at the 6th level, then he could play some exciting games. After the passage is the maze. Luning walked around the maze for hours without even encountering anyone else. He remembered some tricks for clearing the maze. First of all, looking down from a high altitude, I found that there is a high altitude restriction in the maze. Then, I tried to break the wall with force. All the walls are integrated and covered by a special defensive magic circle, which cannot be broken by force. Finally, to see if there is any moss, I want to follow the moss to find the exit of the maze, but there is no moss. People are a little numb. But it doesn't matter. It may be a headache for others to be trapped in the maze, but Luning will not, because he can sign in every day, and no matter where he stays, it will not hinder him from signing in. In other words, the longer the time dragged on, the more his strength and whole cards would keep growing. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. 3 days passed like this. Counting the previous ones, Luning has signed in 4 times. His current panel is as follows. Host, Luning. Realm, Tier 5. Total magic power, 273,000. Constitution, 712. Talent, Thunder Apprentice increases a certain affinity for thunder elements. Ability moves. Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic, White Thunder, Thunder Shield, Lightning Stone Fire, Sikong Gen full set of skills, Thunder Clone, Evil God Thunder. Weapons and props. Yu Lei Talisman, Tian Lei Zi, Thunder Inducing Wood. The total amount of magic power is close to 300,000, but the realm is still at the 5th level. There are improvements, but not by much. In addition, in the past 3 days, Luning has become more familiar with the maze. There are hidden rooms at the end of some dead ends in the maze. There will be some magic puppets in the room, all at the 6th order level, with extremely high defense but slightly insufficient attack. He found 3 rooms, dealt with 3 magic puppets, and found some treasure boxes from the rooms. It just seems that the age is too long. The storage effect of the treasure chest is invalid, and the rewards in it have long been useless in the years. Besides, there are also maze-level elite monsters. It is also a magic puppet, but its strength is much stronger than that in the hidden room. Luning was tough, and still used Thunderbolt's 10-fold boost to kill the opponent, but after defeating the elite monsters in this level, there was still a dead end in the rear, and there was not even a treasure chest reward. How do you feel like you're playing a Dark Souls game? Luning couldn't help complaining. No hurry 3 days ago. Now, he's in a hurry. It's useless to be anxious, and it's useless to be anxious. Luning wandered around the maze again, only to find that he was back to the place he was half a day ago. This made Luning unable to bear the urge to scold her mother. Wait, the magic puppets in the maze can still be refreshed. The current location is a dead end in the maze. The magic puppet inside has been slammed by Luning before, but looking at it now, it is standing there intact. A sense of horror suddenly surged in Luning's heart. Could it be that this is not a maze, but a fantasy world of infinite reincarnation? Wrong. However, after a while, Luning discovered something unusual. He walked over to take a look, and found that the standing magic puppet did not actively attack him. Obviously he had already entered the opponent's attack range. Luning flicked his right hand lightly, and his fingers passed through the magic puppet in front of him, which looked like a holographic projection. It's an illusion magic. Someone came here after I left, and used illusion magic as a cover, and hid in the hidden room inside. Thinking of this, Luning twitched his nose. Although it is not clear, but it can indeed smell some faint smell of blood. Presumably the other party has done something about it. Thunder. Thunder escape body. Luning put up his defense, then stepped over the magic puppet of the illusion, and carefully walked into the hidden room that he had come to before. After entering the room, Luning did not suffer any surprise attack, but there was indeed a figure sitting in the corner of the hidden room. He fixed his eyes, and his face suddenly became a little strange. She is the proud daughter of the same academy, Xiao Xiao. She seems to be in a bad state now, and there are many injuries on her body, but the wounds have been treated to a certain extent. Luning. Xiao Xiao looked up, and a complex look suddenly appeared in her beautiful eyes. Well, it's me. Luning nodded, but Xiao Xiao didn't respond to Luning's words, but said to herself. How could it be him? I'm just a little curious about him. Why do I have hallucinations about him at this time? When she was talking to herself, Luning had already come close. Luning's smell of the opposite gender seemed to detonate something, causing Xiao Xiao to embrace him unconsciously. What are you doing? Luning was startled, and quickly pushed the beautiful girl away. Isn't it a hallucination? Xiao Xiao came to her senses now, but she still asked in doubt, haven't you been besieged and died? Oh, that's my clone magic. Luning briefly explained, and then asked, what happened after that? You should have entered the maze passage. After Xiao Xiao heard this, a trace of bitterness appeared on her face. Too bad luck, I bumped into someone from the demon tribe head-on. I, Shang Hang, Yang Shiqi, Yu Xiaobai, Du Zixuan and Mu Feiwei tried their best, but they couldn't stand the number of 6th-level demons on the other side. Quote. What's the result? Luning was silent for a moment, then asked. A lot of people died. Shang Hang and Yang Shiqi took the initiative to stay behind, and their lives and deaths are unknown. The others, like me, suffered injuries of varying degrees. Fortunately, the maze environment is too complicated, otherwise I'm afraid. Quote. Her answer surprised Luning. Even Shang Hang and Yang Shiqi did not confirm their deaths. Tianzhao's strength is much stronger than he imagined, and this is still on the premise that he is one level lower than the other party. Then, what's your situation? Among those demons, there is a spiritual magician of the same type as me. What he casts is the evil magic unique to the demon race, which can detonate the 7 emotions and 6 desires in the living body. Before Xiao Xiao could finish speaking, Luning interrupted, I guess you were detonated by lust, right? How do you know? Xiao Xiao was astonished. Luning replied with a strange expression. Student Xiao, you can see that my expression is seriously off the mark now. At this time, Xiao Xiao was squatting on the ground, looking up at her delicate and pretty face. Her unique Yuji temperament now added a strong charm. Her silky Chushui eyes just stared at her, as if she could move her. The most primitive impulse in the opposite. Luning couldn't help looking away. It seems that if you look at it one more time, your own kunkan will explode. It has to be said that Xiao Xiao's mental strength and will are extremely good. Under the premise of being injured, he can still persist for so long under the influence of evil magic. She looked at Luning with bitterness on her face. If Luning can't survive, then she will eventually be unable to hold on, lose her mind, and be reduced to a piece of meat that only knows how to mate under the influence of evil magic. But when Luning came over, it could indeed be used as a vehicle to release her lust, but it made her lose her innocence, which she also didn't want. She is a little curious about Luning, but she doesn't like him, let alone like him. As the proud daughter of heaven, Xiao Xiao's heart is naturally high. How could she be willing to lose her innocence for no reason? After the two were silent for a moment, Xiao Xiao's voice was almost out of breath. I can't hold it anymore. Luning was silent for a second, and then replied in a deep voice. Me too. Student Xiao's divination is really something. It seems that my Luning's love luck is indeed strong luck, and such a good thing can happen to me. After Luning finished speaking, he began to undress. Luning, you. Xiao Xiao was furious. Unexpectedly, you are such a despicable person who would take advantage of others. Luning didn't care, and said with a sinister and strange smile, as the saying goes, if you don't copy X, you're treasonous. After I'm happy, I'll kill you. When the time comes, there will be no proof. Who knows who I am, Luning? Jia Jia Jia. Xiao Xiao's lips turned white in anger, but soon realized something, and sighed, it's useless, provoking me can't let the anger offset the influence of lust. What a smart woman. Luning couldn't help feeling a little bit emotional, and returned to her serious appearance. He then asked, then can you use your hands? You know, I can discharge, should be able to meet your release conditions. Don't think about it while it's hot. It is estimated that the demon clan will continue to pursue Xiao Xiao and other escaped people. If you really crossed your moral bottom line, it would be ridiculous if you were blocked and attacked by demons while you were doing business. Xiao Xiao glared at Luning, of course not. You, nasty. It seemed that Luning's obscene words had completely stimulated Xiao Xiao at this time, causing her last sliver of rationality to begin to fade away. She hugged Luning suddenly, murmuring inarticulately. The warm and fragrant nephrite is so embracing. I don't know if her own state is contagious, or Luning is just a vigorous and energetic young man. When the other party hugged her, Luning only felt that a string in her heart was about to break. That string, called morality and principles. Thunderbolt. Suddenly, a golden thunderbolt emerged from Luning's hands. God of evil spirits. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.